and big up everybody on all of the platform, them and thing. Tam Fam TV over YouTube, Ragashanti over Twitch, Ragashanti page on Facebook. And today we have our Instagram people and thing. I see Ricky Platinum, I see my General Andre Glegg all the way up there in the Nordic states and thing and whatever. I think he's in Denmark. Andre at Denmark, man, always I get it wrong, you know. All right, big up on yourself. This is Ragashanti live. Mr. Washbelly at on the right away. And we are get busy. We don't even not eat through the thing. On to blow up my phone. Ricky Platinum blow up my phone. Butler the whole crew on to blow up my phone. I've been busy. And thing and whatever. And of course it's all about you know, the UK Privy Council's ruling on the cartel issue. All right. So, I want to know. I'm going to take on the phone calls. And thing. But before I take on the phone call, I just give a quick rundown on WhatsApp. Well, I could just wait for some people forward. I could wait for some people come in and thing and whatever. I could wait for some people come in. Big up on yourself out there in all who know sound a bait from man. Enlarge up on yourself. Everything is ever good. When I run an arm check. We run an arm check right now and make sure sound smell good to yourself. You understand? Someone who abuse on yourself, right? Ricky Platinum, big up yourself. Ricky Platinum, glad me know a liar who can explain. Ricky Platinum, you have a brother. Big up yourself. Everything is everything. All right? Okay. We want to see the people. And we just wait for some people to come in. Again, want to just remind you that I'm broadcasting on Tam Fam TV over YouTube, Tam Fam TV over YouTube, the Ragashanti page on Facebook, Ragashanti page on Facebook, Ragashanti page on Twitch, Ragashanti page on Twitch, and today we bring in the Ragashanti page off of Instagram, Ragashanti page off of Instagram. Oh my God, which have about 460 odd people already. And think, all right, so let me see, you know, some never get right tonight and just kind of go now. I look a rundown of what go on and thing from the UK Privy Council ruling. All right, and big up the ANC. Big up the Ansness crew over soon. All right, I could take off the music, tap the music, and right away, I just tell you now, I could just go now run down again. I'm going to open the phone line. For you on Instagram, you're not seeing the numbers because the phone number because of how, you know, Instagram set up and I am broadcasting, you know, I'm 4:3 aspect ratio, and I don't know, say Instagram and, you know, is 16:9 for those of you who are familiar with those terminology. It means vertical or horizontal. That's all it means. So for the Instagram people who want to call in, just don't call in yet. The number, again, the number to call in if you're in the United States or Canada, I want to write this down. Instagram people, write this down. When you can't see part of the number for call, so let me tell you the part. The other part, 585-596-0606. 585-596-0606. Kelly case Raga, you need to come over Instagram more often and too. When you see me hold me and shot me a box here, Kelly, because me a misbehave. Me now do more IG live, don't it? All right. Oh, somebody say me pin the number. Jesus God, and I go ask the old man to do them something. All right, I'm going to pin the number after because I don't want nobody call yet and thing. And we also have a WhatsApp number, which is 929-400-1249. Do not call that 929 number directly. You will not get on air. You have to call it through WhatsApp, okay? That number is for the people outside of the United States and Canada, who, you know, if they are Jamaica call about or whatever, you can call through WhatsApp. But let's get to it right away. So the UK, well, you know what? The UK Privy Council make the ruling on the cartel matter. And hold on, make I just do this thing here, it name Dex and you know, technology, you know, I can just boom and connect my phone straight to, you know, the my computer, and just like that I can just go in on my phone and take out all a video. I don't know which video I'm going to take out already. It's already on my IG. But again, there are people listening me, watching me now from multiple platforms. and some of them may not have seen it. So I want just it's just really short. I just want people to
The Judicial
okay, let me just bring it over real quick. One pop. I make it people them see the something and thing. All right. Communicate over bombard star technology. Watch your right now. So make we hear what them say. Just like 30 seconds.
The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants for the murder of Clive Williams.
All right, I could just do one more again.
The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants for the murder of Clive Williams.
All right, so I'm going to take off that right now, and also take off this, and then bring back this over here, so I'm sitting, proper. Okay, so let's be very clear here, people. Vibes Cartel is presently imprisoned because he was found guilty of murder, right? Vibes Cartel and the co-defendants, they're presently imprisoned because they were found guilty of murder. So they were convicted of murder. And what, in terms of jurisdiction, all right, the UK Privy Council still is the highest court in Jamaica. Well, the Court of Appeals is the highest court in Jamaica, but in terms of jurisdictional, status, the UK Privy Council in the UK, their ruling supersedes the highest court in Jamaica, which is a Court of Appeals. So basically, right now, there have been plans to change it, but they have not changed it yet. But so it's still in place where, they're thinking about a Caribbean Court of Justice to replace the UK Privy Council. But the UK Privy Council is there. So whatever the UK Privy Council say, Jamaica have to follow. So right now, I could just keep it simple. Vibes Cartel is in prison right now because he was convicted of murder. That is the reason why he's in prison right now. The UK Privy Council just ruled, courts rule, that the convictions should be quashed. Quashed is one of those kind of local British term, whatever, but let us not be in doubt about it. It means, dismiss, done, get rid of, right? So the convictions no longer exist. So to be clear, technically, Vibes Cartel, Sean Storm, and the rest of them, they're free right now. They're still in prison in Jamaica, but they are free right now because the convictions no longer exist. The convictions no longer exist. All right. There have been some, and then the UK the UK Privy Council also said that they're remitting the case to the Court of Appeals in Jamaica to make a decision as to if Vibes Cartel and the co-defendant should get a retrial. People, when courts rule, you have what is in black letter right there, and then sometimes you have to kind of think about what this really mean, what really are going, what the court really has said. One of the things I want you to keep in mind is that the court, the UK Privy Council, had the authority to say that the convictions are quashed and the defendants must be declared innocent. They actually have the authority to do that. They did not. And that's why this is a mixed thing here, and I'm being objective. I'm not here to determine and make any aspersions about who guilty and whatever this and thing, because what I want you to appreciate here, people, the UK Privy Council's ruling, they are only concerned with what happened in the trial. And it's important that some of you understand that, because some of you I'm talking to and you don't get that. They're only concerned with what happened in the trial. The UK Privy Council's ruling was not a ruling on Vybz Kartel's innocence or guilt. Again, people, I'm not here to whatever. I'm just kind of helping you to understand some things, right? Again, it's a procedural ruling. It's a ruling on the how. And what they're saying here is, and some people may, think that I'm using too strong a term here, but that's fine. We can agree to differ. What the UK Privy Council is saying here is the trial. They're not talking about the trial, They're not talking about anything else. It's an appellate court. An appellate court just look for what happened in the trial and the evidence and so forth. And they're saying that this trial was so awful. Again, they're not talking about whether or not, they're not concerned with whether or not Kartel guilty, right, or innocent. They're saying the trial, which is very important for the court. For those of you who don't know, procedure is very, very important for court, like how the thing is done, right? There's that thing in court where they say justice must not only be done, but it must also appear to be done. Like when I just started law school, I was like, what's the difference? It's redundant. It's not, right? You can have a case where justice is done, but it never look like, the thing never look right, like it done. You can have a case where the thing look right and everything and all the rules and the procedures were followed. And even though all the rules and everything was done by the book, you can't say justice wasn't done. So it's really two different things. So this is a procedural ruling. It's how the trial was conducted. And this is my opinion. I think the UK Privy Council is saying it was awful. I think they're saying it was awful. Whatever the UK Privy Council saw when they're examining how the trial was conducted, they have made a damning ruling in nice terms. And they're basically saying to Jamaica, this was awful. Now, here's the thing that I want y'all to think about. Given that they could have said, boom, quash all of the conviction them and the defend and free the defendant them. Them never said that. Them say quash all of the conviction them and take it back and deal with it. My interpretation of that is that they saw where something there where them I say the trial was awful. But it seems like they're seeing something else where they are saying, well, we're not going to go out there and go say, free the defendant, them, So them I said the trial was awful. But we're not going to go out there and say, free the defendant, them. So what they're doing is saying to Jamaica, you messed up with the trial. Fix it. That is what I'm saying. You messed up real bad with the trial. Fix it. And you will fix it. That is what they're saying to Jamaica, right? The telegraph, and them use them nice sanitized terms and the bossy talk because that's how courts work and thing and whatever in the formal space. So again, my interpretation is, boy, we look on how that trial are going and a gross injustice occurred right here. That them I say. Because again, the how is very important for the administration of justice. If you don't do it the right way or you corrupted the process deliberately in order to achieve an objective and whatever, courts don't like that. People in general, you have to understand, to get a conviction overturned, it's a high bar, it's a very high threshold. Let me say that again. To get convictions overturned, like the court in general, them have this kind of good faith deference to juries, right? Because for the courts to work and to be legitimate and valid and whatever, we have to believe in what the juries conclude. So in order to supersede a jury verdict, you have to come good. Are the thing of really that bad? For the court say, no, this need for overturn. And that is what the court is saying here. You know, I probably using corrupted in terms of the process is too strong a term, but you know, where I still in law school, I wouldn't use that term, you know. But the court is being very damning here. Put it this way, Jamaican jurisprudence, you know, this is not a good day for Jamaica, right? This is not a good day for the Jamaican court. Again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying, based on what the UK Privy Council is saying, they're saying, Jamaica, you know, so I really mess this up. Fix it, man. I'm not come give you for fix it. I want to fix it. I want to fix it. So now it is in the hands of the highest. And again, for those of you who don't know, some of you know this, okay? You know that courts are hierarchical, right? And just like here in the United States of America, where once the Supreme Court rule, all other courts have to follow the Supreme Court. It's the same in Jamaica with the Court of Appeals. So basically, the Privy Council is saying to the Court of Appeals, all right, that una the top dog down there is una responsible for all things judicial down there. May I put it in a phone on. Una determine if una going to go with a retrial. I know the question is, what is the likelihood of a retrial? That is a tricky question. They could order a retrial, but based on the court's ruling, you know, it kind of in a cartel favor. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Let me just say I could be wrong. But based on the court's ruling, it kind of in a cartel favor right now if you say they may not go with a retrial. But I could be wrong. But the court would be well within its scope of authority to say, yes, we're going to order a retrial. And I hear someone talk about the price, what it would have cost for the retrial and all. The administrator of justice is supposedly not supposed to be beholden to those things. It's like justice is supposed to be free from the limitations associated with expenses and all these things and whatever. But we know that in reality that's not true and whatever. The question now would be for the Court of Appeals to look on the evidence and to determine, based on what occurred in the trial. Again, this is not about whether or not Vybz Kartel guilty, you know, right? We're still in an appellate process now, right? Appeals, right? And sometimes that's a little bit difficult for the layperson to understand. Again, we're not talking about whether Kartel and Shanstorm and whoever is guilty. That is not the issue now, right? But if the court look back on the evidence now, as they're ordered to by their superiors, the UK Privy Council, they have to look back on it now and say, all things being equal, should Vybz Kartel have been found not guilty here? And if them see that, them can say no retrial. The court can do that, right? Or them can look on it and say, well, the Crown, whatever them still call it in Jamaica with respect to, you know, the legacy of the British judiciary, here in the United States it's a prosecution. I think they use the term prosecution in Jamaica. But the court can also say, well, the prosecution really erred, they really messed up here and so forth and things like that. That has been made public now. And we're going to give them an opportunity to correct it and do it the right way and let the chips fall where they may. Again, the court could say, well, the system is working, you know. The appeals court could say that. The system is working. We have all, that is the purpose of these appellate stages, to correct mistakes if they were made at a certain level. The court could argue that and say, given that the system is working now, we're going to give it back to the prosecution now to do it the right way. And then in doing so, would be let the chips fall where they may. And the prosecution, in doing it the right way, they could secure a conviction against the defendants. Or the defendants could be found not guilty because the prosecution would be unwise to do the trial the same exact way they did before, because I'm going to end up in the same preke, right? So if they're going to do it differently, and for example, if differently means them have to go move certain evidence that caused the present debacle, and if the removal of certain evidence, for example, would result in the weakening of the prosecution, then it follows then that the defendant will be found not guilty in a retrial. However, it could also mean that the prosecution could remove certain evidence that caused problems or that indicated that some form of corruption or malfeasance occurred in the trial, right? They could remove that. They could make sure they do not repeat whatever process they did, whatever thing they did in the trial that caused the problem that for the Privy Council to rule. They could move all of that and still secure a conviction in a retrial. It has been done before. Right? And for those of you asking if additional evidence can be presented, hell yeah. If different evidence can be, yeah, it's a retrial. You're starting out totally new. Right? You're starting out totally new. But people, again, in terms of the ruling, it's huge. One, it's unanimous. All the judges, whatever they saw, right? I never did it. But whatever they saw, it is so damning against the prosecutorial process or the procedure in Jamaica that they flat out say, no, throw out the conviction. So that is injustice, procedural injustice. Again, I know I sound redundant, but I need to point out the Privy Council, they're really not making any ruling on whether or not the defendants are guilty or innocent. They're just saying the process was corrupted. And some people say that is too strong a word, but I'm saying that, They're saying that they did some things wrong in Jamaica while they were prosecuting Vybz Kartel. That is what the Privy Council said. That is damning. That is damning. Right? Of course, it's cartels, an international artist, internationally recognized, and millions of fans all over the world. So it's a high-profile case and whatever. So it's not looking good right now for the, the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution. It's not looking good for our Court of Appeals either, because the Court of Appeals, again, is the head body that runs all, we have a Chief Justice and all these things and whatever, that runs all of that and whatever. So remember now, the thing that have to go up through them before it could have got to the Privy Council for it to gain what we in law refer to as standing, for it to achieve standing so that it could be in the Privy Council. So it means that it went right through the system in Jamaica. And the Privy Council is saying, after having gone right through the system in Jamaica with all the checks and balances, with all the different layers, with all the different levels that it had to go through for it to even reach there. So they're saying, you messed up and it was awful, unanimous. Them not gonna admit it, but again, I know I sound ad nauseum saying this thing like it's not about whether or not Kartel is guilty or innocent, it's about procedure. They're saying, oh no, go on bad with the procedure right now and fix it, man. Right? Anyway, all right then. Again, for those of you watching on Tamfam TV over YouTube, which is the home of Ragashanti Live, for those of you who don't know, that is the home of Ragashanti Live. Tamfam TV over YouTube. For those of you listening, watching, you can't see the number. Those of you watching on the Ragashanti page over Twitch, you can't see the numbers. Those of you watching on Facebook and thing, you can't see the numbers. But the food folks over Instagram who start drawing me up already and say I need to put the live more over Instagram, they are not seeing the numbers. So just let me tell them the numbers. If you're calling from the United States or Canada, the number is 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606. If you're calling from Jamaica or anywhere outside of the United States or Canada, you're going to call on WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Do not call this 929 number directly. You have to call through WhatsApp. The number is 929-400-1249. 929-400-1249, 929-400-1249, 929-400-1249. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pin the number. They might tell me to pin the number over Instagram, and let me go and look and see if any caller come in. All right, let me see. Okay. Phone. Let me go and take some call while I put in the number. Good afternoon, caller. What's up?
Hey, Raga.
What's up?
What's up, man? How's everything? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Born good. Miss Cherry pushed me up. Born good.
Good. That's what's up. Listen, my question with this thing here, right? It's still a little confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because as you said, if a basically quashed is almost like in America, you would have said the conviction is vacated, correct?
Correct,
right. So the conviction is vacated. Essentially, how can you continue to imprison somebody with a vacated conviction?
All right. What you need to understand is that Vybz Kartel at this moment is technically free.
Okay? Exactly.
So in a reasonable time, they will have to either release him or say we're going to have a retrial. The minute they say they're going to have a retrial, I'm assuming that his attorneys will do, the due diligence and then apply for bail. They will have to decide, will he remain in custody during the retrial or, will he be granted bail? But technically, right this minute, they're all free.
Okay. So I understand what you're saying. Technically, they're free. So if they're free, they would need to be recharged with the crime if they're going forward with a retrial.
Precisely.
Right? Precisely. So essentially, right now, they should be free because how can you imprison a man that don't have a conviction? That's wrongful imprisonment, essentially, technically.
Technically, you're correct. That is why they have to do it in a timely manner. Let me see. Oh, my pin that's sitting here now. Backside, Well,
okay, so let me ask you. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go on. May I try? If it's true, I'm doing this from my desktop, so.
No problem. Yeah, it's just the question I have is what's the standard as far as if he should be released while waiting for the decision about retrial, or should he be in custody? Like, on what grounds is he in custody at this current moment? When the highest court, the apex court, essentially said that his conviction is vacated, effective immediately.
No, that is just a matter of timing and whatever. It put it this way, it is something that they're going to have to do fairly quickly.
So you're saying, like, in this current period, is it he's being held at the discretion of the DPP currently then?
No, not at the put it this way. Even when here in the United States,
right.
You them say somebody's free, and you see them walk out of the court right away. Right. You have that situation, but it practically speaking, when you're free and suddenly you get free in a prison, you have to do that little checkout thing there and get back your things and sign off this and whatever and
Right. I think that is where the confusion comes in with people. Is he free? Is he out physically, or is he gonna be waiting until a decision comes from the Court of Appeal? I think that's where the confusion comes in.
Well,
Because
no, okay. Put it this way. Hold on. Put it this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's free right now, technically, because the only reason Vibes Cartel is in prison right now is because the only reason he's in prison right now is because he has been convicted of a crime, right?
Correct.
And that conviction doesn't exist anymore.
Correct.
So he's not supposed to be in prison right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, but what I'm saying though is the court was very clear in saying that this is all contingent on what the appeals court going to say, right? So
well. Okay, you can listen to it again, right? But I didn't get that impression because they said the conviction should be quashed, and they said they remitted to the Court of Appeals in Jamaica to decide whether if he should get a retrial. I never hear them imply a contingency plan. You know what I mean?
No, I see what you're saying, and I mean that's why I'm using the term that he's free.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying. It's just this period right now between the Court of Appeals.
Hold on. To answer your question directly, all right? Then.
Yeah.
What really should happen is that, irrespective of what people think, Vibes Cartel and this co-defendant really should be released right now, even though the Court of Appeal hasn't made a decision yet about retrial.
Right, exactly. That's the thing I get in. That's what I would understand, because unless there is some explicit law that says if it is the case that they decide, we recommend that the Court of Appeals decide, like in this case, that there's a period of, let's say, 10 days or X amount of days to give them time or something like that.
But remember, when the judges ruled, you know, there was a part there that some people missing, and when they said the appeal should be heard. Did you hear that part?
That the appeal should be granted. That's what I heard.
Right. So that implies that there's a process there that should occur. And like within that process, a determination should be made whether or not you're going to have a retrial.
All right. So your understanding is that this decision this morning triggered some sort of process to ultimately lead to whether they'll decide if he's going to retry it or not.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to get bogged down on this part. But what I'm saying is, what is clear is that, as you say, in the United States, it's vacated. The conviction doesn't exist anymore. And the only reason he's in prison right now is because of the conviction. So if the conviction doesn't exist anymore, he's not supposed to be in prison. So the appeals court have to move fast, you know, and talk up. What you going to do? Because you can't keep the man in a prison and thing or whatever. What you going to do?
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
So,
But listen, I appreciate the fact that you said that this is a procedural decision. And people need to understand.
Hold on, please. I'm going to beg you a favor here, because you and I can end up talking at 15 million people calling. Some of us want to get other people.
Do your thing, man. Do your thing, Raga. Listen, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.
Yes, man. Blessings, man. Cool.
All right, bless.
All right, to all of you people who are calling just now, I'm going to cut you off and thing on the call in again and whatever. Again, if you're calling on the WhatsApp, the number is 9... What am I doing here? All right, so WhatsApp call. I come in. Hello, good afternoon.
Evening, Raga.
Greetings.
Supermarket. I have a quick question for you. Long time, this is my first time caller.
Blessing.
So, what is the likelihood of them really and truly appealing the decision and actually getting a justified decision from a jury? Because at this point, nobody wants to see Vibes Cartel back in jail. So, what kind of a jury would you get should you decide to appeal this case? That would be fair and impartial.
No, I don't. You have to be a little bit more precise with your question. Your question was multi-layered just now. So,
if they decide to appeal the decision and try him again, what is the likelihood of a conviction based on the fact that nobody wants to see Vibes Cartel back in jail? Second question is, how impartial would that jury be?
Well, with regard to the part where you said nobody wants to see Vibes Cartel back in jail, again, we're being objective here, correct? So,
yes, correct.
Yeah, so let us be a little bit careful with that. Let us just talk about the procedure, right? So what you're saying is, what is the likelihood that we could get an impartial jury who is just going to be objective and to be able to give him a fair trial if a retrial was ordered? That is what you're asking, right?
Correct.
That is something that that ISAT, attorney ISAT had raised at the Privy Council, and that is something that the Court of Appeals in Jamaica will have to make a determination on. What happened to the? I'm doing a live on Instagram too, and it disappeared. Wait there. I'm sorry. Wait, well,
All right.
what did I do? Oh, man, I will check this thing. But anyway, let me see something. Wait 1 second here. Yeah, so that is something they'll have to determine. And if the court determine that, listen, all things considered, it is highly unlikely that the court will be able to secure that the court will be able to, give Mr. Cartel a fair trial. Then they will have to let him go. And that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not them think him guilty or I'm not guilty. You understand what I say? It's just a procedural matter, are the necessary ingredients in place to ensure a sufficiently fair trial for Vybz Kartel and his co-defendants. If the Court of Appeals, or if his lawyers can make a convincing and compelling argument along those lines, that's next to impossible, Your Honor, and things like that, or Your Honors to the justices, and things, then they would have to just let him go and said, well, at this point, the prospect of a retrial, wouldn't serve the interest, the larger interest of justice, and as such, the defendants are free to go.
I go. I understand the explanation. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right, yeah, man. Blessings, man.
Man, as I respect.
Yes. Why am I not seeing this thing? Yes, okay, all right then. Cool. Again, the numbers are, and again, this is what, all right, I can just take some other card. The number of them a flyer coming in. Again, for the Instagram people. Okay, good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Wagwan.
No. With regards to the topic, the option is there for them if there's a retrial to do a judge-only trial, right?
No, that's called a bench trial. This is where, let me just, I am a lawyer, but I'm
I know different jurisdiction.
Different jurisdiction, and I don't know how it really go. But one thing I do know is that in general, for capital crimes and for trials where what's at stake is the defendant's life in some instances. If you're found guilty, you're going to be sentenced to death and all these things, or there's going to be a suspension of your freedoms, life, life sentence or whatever. I know generally for those, the courts, and again, I'm not, I am Jamaican, but I'm not familiar with the Jamaican, the rules of that jurisdiction in that regard, but I don't see them having a bench trial, a judge-only trial, for a defendant charged for murder. That's almost always a jury trial,
Yeah, because of the case and the situation, it's going to be hard to find an impartial jury of how many ever people that they need to get a proper thing done.
Yeah, you can make that argument, but it's a high bar to surpass and to prevail with, and what it's up against is like, oh, this person is so popular that we can't find or whatever, so we're not going to try them if they're supposed to be tried, and the courts are reluctant to go down that part, to go down that path, so what's going to happen is, remember, you have a jury selection process that can be quite arduous, that can be quite, that can be quite thorough, and it has its rules, and it has a plethora of rules to ensure that you select the right jurors who would judge fairly. And I would think that would be invoked, that would be activated, and despite the concerns about getting a fair and impartial jury, there are mechanisms in the courts that are designed to go through a systematic filtering process, to get jurors who can do that work, and that is where the integrity of the court system comes into play. So the assumption is that can still be done in Jamaica with a retrial.
Ordinarily, that would be the case, but again, based on the fact that one, the parties involved, two, the fact that the various voice notes and various videos and whatever else that has been put out in the public already, and all of them something there. Una know about it, hear about it, see something about it. So my thinking would be that, I mean, in other cases, it may be easier.
Wait, I need to lock off.
The fact that
the
various
voice notes and various
videos and whatever else that has been. I don't know what it is because I don't.
No. It's my fault. It's we just find back the live and
hear about it, see something about it. So my thinking would be that, I mean, in other cases, it may be easier.
Wait, I need to lock off.
The fact that the various
let me get yeah, okay, go on. Mm-hmm.
No, ordinarily for another case, I would say yes, finding the jurors to sit on the appeal, the new appeal, and finding jurors for a new trial would be easy. But this isn't an ordinary case. This case.
No, but what I'm saying to you,
you had to have been living under a rock to have not heard about it.
No. But
to form an opinion.
No, hold on. There have been lots of high-profile cases where people have their opinions on it and everybody hear about it, and they still had a trial. O.J. Simpson, I mean, I'm talking about the American system or whatever. O.J. Simpson.
That's 300. That's how. Where was that again? California. So California has how many millions of people to pull from?
No. That's not. No. It's not. It's not really a numbers thing, It's not really it's not explicitly a numbers thing the way you're putting it. What I'm saying is they have ways of questioning potential jurors, and sometimes that can be lengthy and arduous and whatever. But the idea is to find a set of whether it's 12 or whatever, people who, even though them hear about it, they can objectively, assess the evidence and make a determination based only on the evidence presented in the case. That is how the court system is set up. So, the assumption is you can find those people. Now, there are times when, a defendant may, apply for a change of jurisdiction because this and that and whatever, particularly up here with the race thing, with be white people, I charge a black man, I judge a black man, and all, them look at something and whatever. So there are mitigating factors that can come into play that, but there's a dance that, that they engage in order to find the right people to do this, And it involves both sides, the prosecution and the defense, in terms of picking, who when they get to pick, the defense get to pick the same amount of people that the prosecution get to pick. The defense get a certain amount of rejection with who the prosecution pick, and the prosecution get a certain amount of rejection with who the defendant pick, and so there's a process there, to ensure that you have objective jurors.
Yeah, I'm sure that the DPP and them had their contingency in place for whether, the conviction got quashed or not. So we shouldn't have to wait long to hear how they will proceed with the next step.
All right, then. So, well, it's up to the Court of Appeals now to make a ruling, and then we see where we go from there. All right?
Have a good day.
Same to you, darling. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Cool. Again, the number is 585-596 0606 if you're in the United States or Canada. 585-596-0606. 585-596-0606. 585-596-0606. We have a call coming in here from the UK. Good afternoon. Well, probably it's what time then?
Yeah, man.
8 o'clock,
UK,
8 to 9.
UK, man.
Yeah, Wagwan. Good night. You're in the UK.
Yeah, Raga, big up yourself, man.
Manners and
Over there,
blessing.
man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I watch the thing and I take what I go on, you know.
Yeah.
But based on my observation, the whole
I
thing.
don't know if you're on an earpiece or something, but can you speak a
Alright,
little
man,
louder in iPhone or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear you
alright,
better.
yeah, man. Me I say based on my summation of what I go on,
Yeah.
right? At the Jamaican justice system are the biggest loser in all of this, you know.
Explain.
Because based on all of the summation with the judge read, I just the judge in my beat bad, the Jamaican, the trial judge in my beat bad based on all of the error what the judge make.
That is why I want to impress upon people that this is a procedural ruling, people. This
Right.
is a ruling on how the trial went. This is a ruling on
Right.
how them tried Vybz Kartel, and the Privy Council
Yeah,
is
man.
saying it was awful. So the caller, you're right. The Privy Council is saying unanimously, all of the judges who look on it, that whatever they saw, again, but as I said, whatever they saw, they're saying that, and I would say they're saying injustice was done, procedural
Right.
injustice was done against Vybz Kartel and whatever. Like
Yeah,
the
and
way
next
they
thing-
tried him. Again, they're saying it was really, really bad. You all messed up terribly, and it's a huge slap on the wrist for them, and basically I say, out order, fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the case, like in the matter of like going to a retrial, I highly doubt that I go proceed to retrial.
And
Because-
why you doubt that? Why do you doubt that?
All right, especially as it relates to the jury selection. Remember, all right, you know about like conscious and unconscious bias,
Right.
right?
Right.
So prior to the first trial, there was no evidence out, and so persons never know what was coming, what was going to be brought forward in the trial, right? So it would be easier for them to like get a number of people and them say, okay, now listen to the evidence, and then based on what you think, decide if them man are guilty or not. But no, after the trial, remember I said the same day when them find the man them guilty, the same day all of the evidence them come out of the public, the voice note them, the video, and 10 years now. 10 years now, and all of them still
it's going to be a difficult
Yes. So when the judge, for instance, if them go retrial now and them say, all right, we're going to select from a pool of people, like 7 persons. It got hard to find somebody who not have prior knowledge of the whole trial, or who not read, either them read about it or them hear about it. So
No. I think some of you are look a bit offbeat. The standard is not that if you had prior knowledge or read about it or whatever, you're automatically excluded. That is not the standard. Right?
But
that is not the standard.
But the bias, the subconscious bias that a person might have over or the conscious bias that a person might develop over time. It's gonna be hard, especially so for the defense now really it gonna be really hard for the defense. Like
no. Here's the thing: you are calling me right now, and I am on the show talking about this because we are paying attention to it, right?
Yeah.
Be careful. There are tens of thousands, even millions of probably whole heap of people out there who is neither here nor there for them about Vybz Kartel.
Well, that's true still.
Right? We are pay attention. There's people out there, There's people out there, you ask them some of the basic question about this, like, you know, who was the defendant who killed? Them not gonna know. There are only people out there not care about this, but if them get something in the mail and say you call for jury duty, they'll be like, you know, and then when jury selection are going, you know, both the prosecution and defense are gonna say, what you know about this case? And they'll be like, I don't know nothing. I don't want to be here. I want to go back to my kids. You know? And I'm gonna be like, you don't know nothing about the evidence, but and this and that. Listen to me, I don't listen to dancehall. My soul is for the Lord Jesus Christ and this and that. I go to church, I don't know. We want to pick this one, Your Honor. No, don't pick me. Be quiet. You're picked. And I saw the something go.
Yeah, it got hard still.
So for you people who are calling in and saying, no, you know, like I call it, everybody want to survive cartel, you know, out and you are saying, basically, everybody know everything about this and all of the evidence it was released the same day. No. There's a whole heap of people, them couldn't care less about this as sitting here. And a jury selection process would be seeking to identify some of those people.
That one that go rough still. The one that go rough.
Well, I mean, I see your point, but I'm just saying, do not assume that you cannot find, a set of people who will say, okay, I'm going to, follow the evidence, and wherever the evidence go, that is where I'm going.
Yeah, one last point, my general. As it relates to the judges, all judges are selected in Jamaica. I think I was listening. I don't want to quote it wrong or quote the person wrong. To a lawyer who was giving an interview some time ago, and he was said that all judges are selected in Jamaica. They are mostly selected from the prosecution side. So so most of the judges that are sitting, that are currently serving, they were prosecutors before. So then basically said the defense there's no balance. So the bias is already there most of the time, as it relates, especially for judge-only cases.
Oh well, that is an interesting point. That is an interesting point, and no, you're talking about system level type of thing now, which is I don't know what role, if that can play a role in an argument to be made, whether for a retrial or no retrial. I don't know if that type of that's something like a scholar would write about, or a policy issue and thing. But at this point, in terms of determining whether or not you should have a retrial, I'm not so sure. As valid as that argument is, I'm not so sure that a judge in making determination would give time and space to that type of argument. They would be like, no, come on, that's policy thing. Get to the point. We're talking about that case here,
Yeah, but we don't know the bias on exist already, so
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that, get the people we suffer and die, don't it?
Yeah,
in terms of certain bias and all these things and whatever. Me can't tell you that I've been through it. Me go quote a Jamaica and whatever when me did a bad and whatever. So me know that's something there. And me tell people all the while, me go in a 3 different jail at Jamaica, and unfortunately me know whole heap of people who go jail and whatever. And when we in a jail, if you look on who in a jail, your only conclusion can be that that the only people who commit crime in Jamaica are ghetto people and poor people.
Yeah.
Because only them me see in a jail when me in a jail. Kansas Spring jail, Stone Hill jail, and Half Tree jail. And then when you go down a cell block, or you go down a Jeeps or whatever, now call it Tower Street, adult correctional. I be a ghetto people in there, I be a, whatever. And it go, certain people who have certain skin color and certain last name and certain social standing and whatever, you don't even hear nothing about we're going up for them side. Not even police can go up with them there, right? So we know say you do have biases in Jamaica. That's unquestionably true.
That's
right,
And you know what's sad about this, right? I mean, I really want but you know what's sad about this? In an interview today, Brother Samuel say, the same arguments that they put forward to the Privy Council were the same arguments that they push forward to the Jamaica Court of Appeal, and it shows that was basically show up the whole system. So like persons who are called so they go away with the Privy Council. Basically, this shows look, the justice system in Jamaica, they have to try, they have to fix it.
No, that is if you say that, then that is a powerful point, If such is the case, that as Bert Samuel said, if that is true, that the arguments that they made to the highest court in Jamaica, and they in terms of, I know we have a court of appeals here and the Supreme Court and thing, and we must have parallel layers in Jamaica. But if that is the case, that is the same argument they made, and we see a different outcome, then it raises a question like, then what is really going on? What were the factors at play? And not only that, it really brings that issue under the microscope, under the spotlight, because given how sweeping the ruling was from is from the Privy Council, and they use the bossy terms and things, but
clean sweep, man.
It was a slap in the face from the Privy Council. Slap them, the Privy Council give them two.
There was nothing in favor of the prosecution. There was nothing in favor of them. Everything pushed forward, and might be if they had accepted the part with the phone evidence, they would have shot them at them foot same way.
Oh, well, and I think my Instagram thing cut off. Make us see if I can get it. Yes. All right, Papa, cool.
Yeah, man, big up yourself. Yeah?
All right, cool. I think this is the Instagram thing still on. I don't even know. Are they still? All right, Instagram, if you're still on, we're having a little problem here and so forth. So we may cut the stream and start it back. All right. So again, we may cut the stream and start it back. All right, we could take our next call and whatever. Okay, good afternoon, caller.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes.
So I don't know if you covered this part of it already, but in regards to the aspect that they said that the case is quashed, this is a question. Are they able to get bail until they're able to decide?
Yes, we have we addressed that. So technically, again, and people, oh Lord God, call him. Technically, people, and again, this is gonna be redundant, but just people wanna just work with me. Again. All right, callers, wait a little bit. All right, the only reason Vybz Kartel and his co-defendants are in prison right now is because they were convicted of a crime, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, those convictions are thrown out, right? So, given that the reason for them to be in prison no longer exists, they are to be freed, right? So, we understand it. But the court did say the appeals are to be heard, and the court must determine if a retrial is going to take place. So what the Privy Council is saying is, make a determination now. Listen to the appeal and make a determination now. They even not tell them what them to do. Like, we are not. Well, let me be careful here. The Privy Council is saying make a decision whether or not he's supposed to get a retrial because he may deserve a retrial. My interpretation of that is, given that the Privy Council had the authority in their review of the evidence to say quash the convictions and free the defendant, they did not. Mm-hmm. That to me suggests that they're saying the trial was so awful that the convictions must be quashed. But we see other things there where we not gonna go as far as to go say free the defendant. So do it over if you don't want to do it over, and do it the right way. And without even saying it, they're basically saying, do it the right way, so that even if it come back to we right now, we can say, okay, it was done the right way, right? But so it is now for the Court of Appeals to make that deliberation. Now, you basically raise an issue that our earlier caller raised, like, so what should happen instantaneously in the instant moment? And thing,
yes.
And ideally, they should be freed. Even if the court is deliberating whether or not we're going to have a retrial, they should be freed. because
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
free
Because
right now.
there's nothing there against them.
Right,
They have to start from
right,
scratch.
right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, good. Let me see if I can create back this live, yeah, man. Oh, but the live are going. They're hearing the no man. I'm still there with the live. Okay, good. And again, for the people on Instagram, the number is 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606. If you're in the United States or Canada, 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606. Take a call. Good afternoon, caller.
Afternoon, Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, more just three of the callers a while ago, right?
Yeah.
One of the caller was say everybody know about the Vibes Cartel case. You know, so I text one of my friend of Florida this morning, born Jamaican. And I said, what do you think of the verdict? What do you think of the outcome later? And the man said, what go on? And I said, Cartel. I don't know nothing about it.
You don't know a thing about it. That's why that is exactly why I'm telling people, be careful. Yeah. Not because you're in this world where, you know, you are either consumed by the cartel case or you've been paying attention. Don't believe that everybody is there. There's a lot, there's tens of thousands of people out there who don't know one fact about the case.
And the man was born American, right. Born Jamaican. And the man said, what about it? I said, about the Privy Council. I said, no, sir, I saw a little thing about I said, yeah.
Listen to me, I have relatives. My sister and her husband, them don't know nothing about it. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's one of the callers. The next caller where I say, nobody wants the cartel in jail. That is not so. Enough people think him guilty. I, for one, think he's guilty. And I think the crime if he do time. But I think there were some errors. There were some technicalities in the trial.
Right.
And although I think him guilty, he deserve a free trial.
Right. If him deserve, you think him guilty, but you think him deserve a proper trial. You know?
A proper trial. And I think that they follow a case of America, you know. And I believe they say that about 3 missed trials based on technicalities.
And them keep doing it over and over and over.
Yeah,
right?
Them keep showing. Them get a new pool. Something this trial get a new pool of jurors.
Mm-hmm.
Something else, a new pool of jurors. I must be certain. Right now, them put it off. They start back sometime.
Callers, wait. Once in a year, a caller on. Please do me a beg, take time. Geez, this person calling on WhatsApp from England. Wait a little bit, no man. Yeah, go ahead. Jesus God.
Based on technicality.
Yeah.
So I think he's guilty, but we still saying this a free trial, and there were some errors with all what happened.
Right.
And if them sure of them case, and people were saying free. I don't think based on what he said. He's technically free, but he's not 100% free.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning the fact that the Privy Council of England say them quash the case. That's at England. However, then them send it back to Jamaica for Jamaica decide if they want to do a retrial or they want to forget about it. Or they want to dash it out.
Right. And so but what I'm saying is no, hold on. Where people are coming. Why is Vibes Cartel in prison right now?
Murder. Convicted
of murder. Is that conviction standing right now?
I think it is. It's just that the case, them have a problem with the case.
No. Based on the Privy Council's ruling, is that conviction standing right now?
Well, I guess not.
No. So if the only reason he's in prison right now is because of the conviction, and the conviction no longer exists, then he should be freed. So
hold on there. Is them against the conviction, or them say the trial them have an issue with?
No. Them have an issue with the trial, and based on the issue with the trial, the convictions do not stand anymore. So me know you're coming from a certain, but just be objective, and I appreciate
No, I'm being
you.
objective.
No, hold on. I appreciate you saying, you know, I think this and that about cartel, but you have a problem with the trial anyway, and should I get a fair trial? That is mature thinking. Again, so along those same lines, right? If the only reason, and only is the operative word there, if the only reason why he's in prison right now is because of that conviction, and if the conviction doesn't exist anymore, that means the only reason has been erased, eliminated, removed, it no longer exists, then he should be freed.
All right.
Even if they're deliberating whether or not them going to do a retrial, he should be freed.
But hear this point now. The Privy Council had the power to dismiss the case totally, and they didn't. That's why I think they had a problem with the trial and not necessarily the conviction. That's what I said. Because they had the power to dismiss the case totally, correct? And they didn't.
No. You are confusing terminologies. The case was dismissed totally. Let's be clear on that.
Mm.
The case quash. It's a British term, and it's not part of the everyday vernacular. But let's be very clear on that. Quash means the case is dismissed totally. There's no ambiguity there. Right? The only way them can come off a cartel right now is them have got to do the whole thing all over again.
Mm.
So the case has been dismissed totally. Not that the case, the conviction too. That is even more precise. So technically Vibes Cartel is free right now.
Yeah, but don't they, as in the press release what them have from the Privy Council, I see a part tonight where them have to send it back to the Privy Council, the Supreme Court in Jamaica.
No, well, the equivalent of the Supreme Court is the Court of Appeals in Jamaica, right? Yeah? Right? Yes, so they're sending it back to them, right? But in sending it back to them, they now have to decide whether or not they're going to retry him. But in the process of deciding whether or not they're going to retry him, there is absolutely no ambiguity or uncertainty of whether or not the conviction that is the reason for him to be in prison no longer exists. It doesn't. So, all right, put it this way. Remember, you basics of the law, you're really enough to take what's, and again, I'm not here debating whether or not Vibes Cartel innocent, okay? I just want to be clear on that, okay? I'm not debating whether or not Vibes Cartel is innocent or guilty. That's not. We're talking about procedure because this is a procedural matter, right? So I'm saying, given that the convictions are now quashed, dismissed, dash way, fling way. Let us say the Court of Appeal say, it's going to take away 6 months or 8 months or 3 months or whatever to decide whether or not there's going to be a free trial. In the spirit of justice, right? Should you have Vibes Cartel still in prison when the reason why he was supposed to stay in a prison is no longer there? He would be in prison for no reason. Do you understand that?
Yeah, we get the idea of what you said, but there's some little parts in it where it sounds a little bit confusing. But we have the general idea of what you're saying about what you said. But
but that being said, it could be, one of the things I learned in law school, well, anybody who go to law school can tell you is that, let me give you an example. Remember, just a big part of justice is not only justice for the victim, or the accused or whatever. They're always taking the public's consideration. And so, for example, you could have a situation where you're like, okay, we're going to have a retrial, but given the dynamics involved with the accused, we do not think that it is in the best interest of the public to release the accused back. Man, you can have something like that, if you have like, say you have a terrible person or whatever. Obviously that didn't come up and all these things. So, and again, let me just be clear. I'm a lawyer, but I'm mostly reasoning from just straight up common sense, right? And so there might be intricacies in procedural intricacies in the Jamaican jurisdiction that I'm not cognizant of. I'm well aware of that. And there might be things that I don't know, so I just want to put that out there. But I'm just saying, if you just go by, the black letter ruling right now, the only reason Vybz Kartel was in prison was because of the conviction. The conviction does not exist anymore. So it logically follows that Vybz Kartel and his co-defendant should be released. No,
so the question...
he can be released, and then them charge him and arrest him again. But, and say, well, we're going to do it over again. Or if them do it real quick, and tomorrow them say, we're going to do it again. So I'm have to stay or whatever, you kick off the process. Something like that, go on. But it would be unreasonable of the prosecution to stretch out this thing while they're deliberating whether or not he should be released,
Why? Simplify it then. Because you're saying, because I was thinking that it
all right,
was...
I make this last point because 10 million other people are calling here. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, why the Privy Council, since as they're saying he's 100% free, why the Privy Council is saying free then, instead of saying, they must send it back to Jamaica to basically retrial or whatever. Why them never, if they think him free, 100% free, why them never free? And the next thing is, if them free him, if Privy Council is saying free, could you make a retrial?
No. You are saying that why if the Privy Council said that he's free. I'm telling you that the Privy Council was not determining whether or not he should be freed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that? Their concern was the Privy Council all the Privy Council care about is what happened in the trial. You need to understand that. They're not deliberating whether or not Kartel is innocent or guilty. They're not deliberating whether or not, but you're right. They could say, based on what was presented, and he should be freed. I made that point earlier. And in my opinion, this is just my guess, right? That the Privy Council saw what happened in the trial. And based on what they would say is their objective analysis, and in the case of multiple justices, so it's analyses, right? Even though collectively they issue one ruling, based on their analyses of what happened in the trial, my interpretation of it, they're saying that a gross injustice occurred procedurally. They're saying some terrible, awful things were not supposed to happen when you try somebody happen in a Vybz Kartel trial. That is what they're saying. And this is not a ruling on whether or not him guilty or not. However, I am also interpreting that they must have seen other things there that didn't prompt them to say, free the man. So they just rule on the procedural part and then them put it back down at Jamaica and say, uno F up with the trial. Uno make a decision right now. We are going to vacate the conviction them. Uno make a decision one-on-one because uno really mess it up. So if you don't want to try him again, but make sure uno get it right. And if you don't want to try him, don't try him because you really did mess up anyway and him forget Lego because that uno cause it or whatever. So them now make a call upon that, but they make a clear call. Say based on what happened in the trial, these convictions cannot stand. And I'm saying to you, if based on the Privy Council, the Jamaican judiciary wrong, right? So what I'm saying is, while they are correcting their wrong, pursuant to the directions from the Privy Council, given that the convictions are vacated and quashed and whatever, Vybz Kartel should be free in the interest of justice. I'm being objective here, right? Justice. He should be free. Then if you want, try him again, or you want to charge him again, then you go back and lock him up, or you go back and arrest him, or you go back and charge him. But right, it's not good to have him in there and then you take forever for, So I remember the thing just happened today. So let's just give it some time and be real.
All right. There's more technicalities to be explained. So I'll give somebody else
Yeah, man. Cool.
All right, cool.
People, I want to remind you, what is going on here is not whether or not, don't get caught up with whether or not, in terms of the Privy Council ruling, do not get caught up with whether or not Vybz Kartel is guilty. That is not the issue here. It's procedural. It's the procedure of the trial, right? And when it comes to the administration of justice, procedure is critically important, particularly when it's a capital crime and when it's about taking away the person's freedom in totality or sentencing to death or whatever. It's like the standard is so important to be maintained. And not only for the administration of justice, but for what people see how justice is being administered, right? And that is where the Privy Council is coming from. The Privy Council is just telling Jamaica, like, the way you do this trial and the process and how it go right up to the appellate court, wanna really F up. It was really bad. That is what they're telling them. And the uncomfortable part is where them probably wouldn't want to face. And what I'm coming to your caller is that if the trial was so bad, right, that the outcome was wrong, then the Privy Council is also saying you should not have found them guilty. You should not have found them guilty based on how this trial was conducted. Them is that a word them must say it, but not say it. And given that you should not have found them guilty based on how the trial was conducted, then the conviction them can't stand. So the question is now, does the prosecution have the resources, evidentiary resources, to conduct a fair trial and win against Vybz Kartel and his co-defendant? And if, well, we're not going to say because that would be a new trial. But the appeal court now, the appellate process now, them have to go look back on this thing and say, all right then, what's the feasibility of us going ahead with a retrial and whatever? And does it even make sense? And how they determine that, I don't know, and thing and whatever. But I'm just saying there's room there to go either way. It has been done before, where you do a retrial and there's a conviction. You do a retrial and you still don't get a conviction. Or the prosecution look upon it and them say, well, we have to cut out this evidence and that evidence based on the Privy Council ruling because of that. And if we cut out this evidence and that evidence and think, can we secure a conviction? And sometimes the prosecution say, yeah, unless we can come up with new evidence with something, on what time law and order, and them, them lose and them run, go find something else and them coming back and whatever. So unless they can come up with something new, they may say, listen, we can't go ahead with it because we're going to just embarrass ourselves and we'll go ahead because we're not going to win. Because everybody are going to watch we right now and then they will mess up this time again. We're going to look like idiot and whatever. So these are some of the ruminations that go on and they may be like, yo, we can't do it. We don't really have any legs to stand on to go ahead and do it. Or they may say, we really want him. Or we know say him do it and we have to go find some way to win this somehow or whatever. So we have to see where the cards fall with that. Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening, Raga. How are you?
I'm good.
I just have one question. Is there a time period for them to keep him locked up since the conviction was thrown out?
Excellent
question.
Or
do they have a time to release him? Like, how long can they hold him for now that the conviction is thrown out?
No. It's an excellent question, and I do not have an answer for it. But I am glad you asked that question because you're thinking the right way. You're thinking about procedure. This is all about procedure. Now, if in the Jamaican jurisdiction they say if a case is vacated, the authorities are only allowed to keep a defendant for 24 hours or 72 hours or 48 hours. I would imagine there might be something like that, in the jurisprudence down there. But that's a great question. You're thinking the right way you're supposed to think now.
Because right now you're holding him and he's not convicted of anything. So what's the reason why he's in jail? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. No.
Are you gonna give him bail? Are you gonna what's going on? Like why?
No. They can't even discuss bail. The only way bail can be discussed is unless they decide they're going with a retrial. Right? So okay. It's not even like you can't give him bail right now. You only get bail when you're charged for something. He's not charged for anything right now. He's not charged or convicted for anything right now. So it's not even about bail. Right? But you have asked probably the best. You see how your question simple? And it is the best question so far. Because once you start thinking procedurally now, if there is something in the Jamaican books, right, in the legal doctrine down there, where that says when a defendant is an appellate court, vacates a judgment of a trial court and thing, the defendant can only be held for 24 hours or 44 hours. Failure to charge a defendant again during that time must result in the defendant's release. If there's something like that, which I don't know, I'm saying, boom, them have to go let him go. Pursuant to the law. All right?
Yeah.
Very good question.
Yeah. All
Very
right. You have a good evening. Thank you.
You take care. Wonderful. People, you see that question, You see that question? The question was free from emotions. The question was free from what she think about Vybz Kartel, whether or not him guilty or not. Right? The question was free from passion or whatever. It was a very objective, cold, flat question. Are there regulations that determine how long an accused or a defendant can be held subsequent to a ruling from the court that their conviction must be quashed? Brilliant question. Simple but brilliant. Okay? And that's sound of your thing. Think procedure. Right? If you start get caught up in and everybody will have to see Vybz Kartel like, I believe him guilty, or I believe him not guilty, or whatever, you're kind of on the wrong trajectory there, okay? It's like a cold, calculated thing. So if there is some sort of provision in the law in Jamaica that says, it might be that, listen, once a defendant, has been conviction has been quashed by the Privy Council, the defendant is supposed to be released immediately. I can assure you that his lawyers are looking at that right now and saying, Your Honor, with all due respect, he should be released immediately because pursuant to Section 5, this and that of the This and That Act and blah, 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 blah. Boom. I saw the thing work. Good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Yes, Raga. Greetings, brethren.
Manners and blessing.
All right. Quick thing. I wanna kind of switch gears a little bit. Has anybody get any opinion and concerns from the family of the victim? Because, if this man gets free, that means this family didn't get justice. See?
I'm going to say something to you now, whatever. Okay, again,
all right.
And I want you to be honest. The opinions of the family and so forth, and sometimes with them, some people may think you're being disrespectful. I just want to be clear. I'm not being... The opinions of the relatives and family of the victim, that's a non-issue now with what they're dealing with now. That's irrelevant right now. Right? The opinion of the families and whatever could be irrelevant with sentencing. Right? Say he's found guilty now, and them have this thing like up here where the relatives of the victim get to speak and them say, I wish you the damn to hell, or I forgive you, or whatever, and thing like that. But their opinion is irrelevant, for what we're determining right now. Right? So in determining, according to the Privy Council, whether or not the trial was conducted the way a trial was supposed to be conducted. And the Privy Council said, no, it wasn't. Not only them said, no, it wasn't. It was unanimous. All of them say it wasn't. Not only was it unanimous, it seemed to have been damning, like it was egregious, whatever. And them just casually say, jury, whatever term them use, tampering or whatever, jury corruption or whatever the case may be, and thing like that. But, the opinions of the victims of Clive Williams' relative right now is of no consequence for what is being determined right now. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But like I said, I was just asking that is on the street.
Right.
People, you know how these days people go on social media. So people would say, "Oh yeah, well, we talk to this family, and this is what they plan to do if such and such happen." You know, that's why I'm just saying. Remember, I'm not there. We're not there in Jamaica right now, so we don't know. We don't know what's going on really.
But what you're talking about, with all
so,
due respect, sir, that is something like totally separate, with respect to the deliberations that is going on right now.
I get that. I get that. But we'll see. I guess we're just going to have to touch on social media and see what people are posting then, basically.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean touch on social media and see what people are posting then? What do you mean?
No. I get everything that you're saying. I get the whole thing, but I guess I'm guessing that I want two sides of the story. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear, because we want to know.
Two sides of what story? What you want to know? What you want to know?
No. I'm saying it in the sense that, like, people want to hear the concerns and opinions of Clive's family. How they, if this happened, XYZ happened, then how they will approach not the Privy Council, with the prosecution and say, how can we go ahead and retry it, get a new trial, or look for new guilty parties if it's proven that cartel is not the man, or
Are you saying that we need to get it would be helpful if we have the perspectives of relatives of the deceased to say whether or not they would welcome a retrial, and that we need to hear from them? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely, because the general public would want to hear that. Yes, majority people want cartel free.
No, I understand that. But at the same time, what I'm saying to you is that the ruling for the retrial, right? Ruling for them to consider the retrial was based on the Jamaican courts effing up. Do you get that, right?
I get that.
All right, hold on. So what the Privy Council is saying is that you effed up so bad in the trial of Vybz Kartel that when we look from where you do, we have, understand this, in order to get an appellate body, any court in general, worse on the highest level, in order to get them to quash, throw out a conviction, it's a very, 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 very high bar, I want you to understand that it's a high threshold. Most people who go up there don't get through. It's a very high. Your evidence have to be so strong and compelling, right? Hold on. And so, whatever it is they did wrong was so bad. Again, this is not about whether or not him guilty, This is about the way they tried him. Whatever it is was so bad, the Privy Council was just like, this is awful. We have to throw the conviction. This was so bad. So the issue here is basically the Jamaican justice system is being punished, right? And to your point about Clive Williams' relatives and so forth, if they believe Kartel is co-accused or guilty, then the people who them supposed to accuss right now is the Jamaican judicial system.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So when you want to hear them what they must say and this and that, but take it to the Jamaican judicial system, because based on the Privy Council's ruling, not what Ragashanti or anybody said, they're saying the Jamaican judicial system, for whatever reason, they chose to be so bad and awful in the administration of justice, the Vybz Kartel and his co-accused, that we have to throw these convictions. In other words, the bar, that high bar that you have to prevail against in order to get a conviction throughout or whatever, they were so bad that, they transcended that bar and whatever and threw it out, and them say, then basically threw it back to them and say, behave on yourself and fix up the thing. Right? Because we're not going too bad down there. With that, them basically I tell the judge. This is not a good day for the Jamaican judiciary. You know, they're not looking good.
I was saying, is it safe to say, this is my last point. So is it safe to say this is almost on comparison to something similar with OJ, how they messed up? Somewhat?
I would say no. But I would no, not with messed up. You know, I would say, based on the Privy Council's ruling, that the mess up that the Jamaican judiciary do here is way worse than what happened with what's her name, Marsha Clark and Christopher Darden prosecution of O.J. Simpson or whatever. It's way worse here than, you know, it's not even that they messed up, that prosecution messed up. What, as you may recall, when one Johnny Cochran went up there with the glove and said, well, if it doesn't fit, you have to acquit and whatever. They just had a stellar defense, you know, that, you know, so it wasn't that they messed up, it's that the defense was just so much better there and whatever. So, which is a different thing here, where the Privy Council is saying that the Jamaican judiciary, the court system right through, they messed up terribly, okay? I'm going to try and get some other calls here.
All right, then, cool.
All right, manners, man, blessings, cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And people, I see some of you, again, you're still having a little difficulty with, you know, staying in the procedural domain. We're in the how. We're in the how of the trial. That's where we are, the how of the trial, okay? And again, some of you having a little difficulty there and things like that. Good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, question about the if the DPP decides to go ahead with the retrial, right? Would the evidence such as the recordings be admissible in the new trial?
First of all, when you say if the DPP decides to go to retrial,
I mean the appellate. Sorry, the appellate.
Okay, we just want to be clear. It's not up to the DPP.
Yeah,
it's up to the Court of Appeals, right? So if they order a retrial and thing like that, then it will. But yes, evidence can be reused. You can use back the same evidence.
Okay, so
hold on. You can use back the same evidence, you know, but there is a process in trial to determine there's a process there's a whole bunch of evidential law in every jurisdiction that determines whether or not evidence is admissible, right? So to your question, the DPP can use back the same evidence, but they have to now go through the same process, including the challenges from the defense, you know, to render their evidence admissible, if you understand. So the DPP can go on to use the same evidence, but the defense can make an argument and say that particular evidence was so and so and so, and it was, it did admit the first time, but the defense can make a different argument about it and thing based on what has transpired that could render the evidence inadmissible. Yeah, does that make sense what I said to you?
Yeah, because the reason I asked that is one of the points was the evidence was tampered with. That's why I'm asked about the phone evidence, because one of the argument where they argued at the Privy Council was the evidence was tampered with.
Well, yeah, and then they can face a different judge who rule differently on the evidence. That's how it works, right? So they might do the retrial and it go to a different judge. That judge may rule differently upon the evidence, and sometimes them don't admit certain things, but there is no judge in Jamaica right now. Hold on, there is no judge in Jamaica. Hold on. There is no judge in Jamaica right now who is not paying attention to this case, right? And they have a random way of choosing the judges. And, well, I'm assuming it's the same thing in Jamaica, right? So any judge say them are going to do the retrial, any judge lap this job, I can almost assure you that judge going to be way extra careful now, to make sure that we don't have a repeat of what occurred, because it's going to be a reflection not only on the judge and whatever, but the whole world are going to watch a judge now. You understand? So that judge may rule, say, no, that evidence I can't go in, and then the prosecution may say, but we use it before, Your Honor, and the judge may say, but that is irrelevant. I'm saying it cannot be used now because so and so and so and so and so. You understand?
Right.
And I'm going to say something 100%. Troublesome to him. I'm going to say something troublesome. All right? I'm going to say it in a code. Here? Yeah, listen me? All right.
Yeah. No, sorry.
All right. Say in my formative years, I wasn't exactly a model child, right? Right? And it's when me did in a halfway tree jail. Right? Me in a halfway tree jail for about 6 days or so. And thing, halfway tree jail, the courthouse there, right? I don't know if you're familiar with that, right?
Not really.
Not really, okay. But in a halfway tree jail in Kingston, one big courthouse up there. We gonna get there, we call it the uptown courthouse, and you have a courthouse downtown. We say downtown courthouse. And when me in a halfway tree jail, me know certain little things and whatever. Jamaica now an easy place, You follow me so far?
Yeah.
All right then. So let's say that cartel it piss off some people now, right? And let's say some people say we are gonna get him, man, and boom, boom, boom. That wouldn't necessarily involve all sort of organization and a commandeering of resources in a particular way, to achieve a particular objective. I don't, if such was the case, and I'm not saying it was the case, I'm saying if such was the case, it's going to be a little harder now for them to do that now, Like, forget the right person, forget this, and make sure it reach the person, and that prayer, and
yeah, man, because the world I watch,
and then the UK Privy Council go rule, and thing. The point me I make, the game different, even if them are going with a retrial. The scrutiny, just the sheer scrutiny.
Well, I say, she now, I don't really think the DPP has no legs to stand on, because she only have the eyewitness. That's 13 years ago. We don't know what in there right now. How them did that treat him after the trial. See him come back and testify. Then with the phone evidence, based upon the two of them, I don't think she have legs to stand on.
All right. You see, what you just said, I something of a thing. People, you see how the caller think right now. The caller now they are say, oh, my things are Vibes Cartel this and Vibes Cartel that, and oh, them are wicked and rare. You hear how the caller think. The caller is saying that he doesn't think, whether or not him wrong or right, we just want to follow the way he's thinking. He's saying that there was a critical witness there from how many 13, 10, whatever years ago, that failure to secure that witness in a retrial, he doesn't see how that is going to happen, and thus the case, a retrial, will be weakened. Additionally, he's saying, what the other thing what you say again?
You should I try come up with try to get a plea deal or try to get
No. We're not talking about the plea deal. We just say you also said something about evidence after that, and that is the way I want you to think, people. Like,
because I said there's two key evidence, the phone evidence and the witness. Those are two key evidence now.
All right. And you're saying then, and what you're saying, if the phone evidence is so severely compromised that it cannot be reused, and if the key witness can't be found out, what are you saying now?
Them have no legs to stand on.
They have no people. This is the way you're supposed to be thinking. This is the way, because this is what is good. They're going to have to think whether or not they're going to go with a retrial. Right? This is the way the prosecution is going to have to think. Yeah. Like, do we have an evidentiary basis to stand on in order to conduct a retrial? And it may be that it's sometimes it's irrelevant whether or not you think the person is guilty. Is what can you prove in court?
Yeah.
You understand? And what the caller is saying is he does not see how they will be able to prove a guilt against Vibes Cartel and his co-accused, given that the evidence, the key evidence they used to secure the first conviction, it is either severely compromised or they don't have it anymore. That is how you must think. All right, Carla, big up yourself here. Good job.
Yeah. One last thing, just a question. You think just to save face on the judiciary system and the DPP herself, you think should I try offer him a plea deal like a manslaughter and time served?
A plea deal like I don't know, you know. Because
just
in such cases, even if she does, in such cases, you know, it would be for defenses usually assume that when some prosecute, they have to make a determination, they have to weigh, you know, and to see if the reason why the prosecutor is doing this, if they have no case. And sometimes defenses make a huge mistake there, you know. And them don't, hold on, and them don't take the plea, hold on, and them don't take the plea deal and end up in a deeper water. Or because sometimes prosecutors do this because, listen, I could secure a conviction, but I just don't want to go through it again. So let me just give him something and think, whatever, right? But it could also be that the defense could say they have nothing. They have nothing, and them try to get something out of nothing. No, we don't want a plea deal. Because you're not going to win anywhere.
But you don't know if that's a risk cartel willing to take after 13 years. You don't know if more go back through that. So it's like it can be a win-win.
No, but if them know if it, well, you see the problem like, with that, you know. No, the problem with that, you know, you see like how you focus on the whole evidence, right?
Yeah.
Sometime in that position, you know, the prosecution could have some new evidence where you don't know about, you know. But them would have to reveal it, do a some charge, you know. But that I don't see that happening. I don't see them offering him a plea deal or whatever. And Cartel has been so defiant that I don't see him taking it. Cartel probably will tell them, send them up somewhere to under them mother or something like. But anyway.
Yeah, that's what we see about the DPP. Like she just think she can't stomach that one.
Yeah. But we could take some other call, all right?
All right, respect.
Mm-hmm. Call them and blow up. Good afternoon, call.
Hey, Raga, what's up?
I'm there. I give thanks, you know. What's going on with you?
So my question is, right? It's not really a question. It's like you think say Cartel gonna sue them for being in jail, you know, all this time. You think he have grounds to sue them?
Again, I don't know how it works in the Jamaican jurisdiction. You know, there's, you know, people have them, you know, sometimes there are provisions for, you know, an absolved defendant to lodge a new complaint and whatever and to sue the state. I don't know what the rules are like there and whatever. I if I were his lawyer, I'm not so sure I would advise him to do that though.
To sue that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, yo, DJ, you're free. Let it go. Just balance your thing and nobody go put yourself in a mess there again.
Because I honestly feel, you know, Jamaican justice system is just as worse as the American justice system, you know. Because you remember years ago, not to bring up other cases, years ago when the rich man licked the little boy down and kill him, and he almost got not almost, but he got away with it. Because his lawyer say it was cloudy and there was no cloudy in the sky in Jamaica that day.
Well,
so it's like, in the end, I feel like Jamaica system is so corrupt that sometimes I feel like, say, British should have never given us, you know, so much independence in terms of court.
No, don't say that. No, and let me tell you why. What you just described is not a Jamaica thing. It's a class and money thing, right? And that exists all over the world. That's the truth, is that if you get a good lawyer, it makes a difference for you in court. Okay? If you have a good lawyer who can talk about your cloud and confuse the jury about the cloud and all these things and whatever and things like that, then you're in good shape, you know. And unfortunately, it's who have the money to get a good lawyer. So in that sense, it's a class thing. So that exists here, you know, it exists in
It
England.
exists everywhere, but I just feel like Jamaican law system is just really corrupt. Like, it just don't give nobody a chance to even believe in the system. You know, at least foreigner can believe in it a little bit. Not too much,
No,
but
but
a
on
little
what
bit.
basis are you saying that? What basis are you saying that?
The basis of I'm saying it in terms
Ian,
of...
hold on a little bit, may I talk, right, so people careful on that. Yeah, what basis are you saying that?
I'm saying it in the basis of if something, for example, the cops just come, police just come at the roadside and take up one bag of boy, and then them stay at Spanish Town police station for days without any reason for holding them, no probably cause. Like, stuff like that is not right.
No, but what I'm saying is that I see your point, but I'm saying that is, and that exists in Jamaica where people from certain communities are treated a certain way, but you don't see police go up a Beverly Hills and Cherry Gardens and a kick down door. I remember when police go for talk to Mr. Siaga about a complaint lodge against him, Mr. Siaga run them out of that and so on and manners and thing and whatever and way. So that, you know, it's your status and your money and things like that. Here in the United States, the so-called first world country, is replete with that type of corruption that you talk about.
Yes,
in Britain and whatever. So I'm saying it's hold on. I'm saying it's not a phenomenon that is Jamaica has a corrupt system, but I'm saying corruption is not exclusive to Jamaica. You know,
no, I understand and I totally agree. But at least in America or even other so-called first world country, they can sue them, and depends on the lawyer, like you said. If the lawyer is a very educated, good one, you can win. So
there are provisions to sue the state, to bring a claim against the state in Jamaica. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm not cognizant of Jamaican law enough to know if...
so you're not a lawyer in Jamaica, Raga? I thought you had your law degree in Jamaica. I don't know why they hope you tell people to have your law degree in Jamaica.
No, I got my law degree here in the United States. Not only in the United States, it's in New York. So, you know.
Okay, so would you practice law in Jamaica if you had the chance?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Is it something I'm looking forward for right at this moment? No.
Okay.
No. But and again, you know, Jamaican law and US law, they're both grounded in British law, you know. But in both jurisdictions, you know, they have evolved a body of law that is distinct and unique, and they all stand on their own. So Jamaican law right now is very different from British law, and so is the case that US law and Canadian law and whatever, they're very different from British law, you know.
Okay.
And I don't know Jamaican law. I don't.
My last thing from standard that take other caller is that I feel the Jamaican justice system is going to want to really prove a point with Vice Cartel case even more now, because I don't know why every single year them just like degrade dancehall music, degrade the artists, and so they're going to use Vice Cartel as a point. And I honestly feel like they're not going to let him see daylight.
No, and to your point, to your point, we have a victory here for Vibes Cartel in that.
Yes, we do.
Hold on. In that the convictions were quashed, but again, I want people to understand that it was a procedural matter, and that the court, could have ruled that when we look at the evidence and him innocent, let him go. The court could have said that. The court did not say that. The court said we have to throw out the convictions based on how the trial was conducted. However, We're sending it back to the Court of Appeals for you to decide if there's a retrial. For observers like myself who are looking at what is really going on here, one of the interpretation could be that the Privy Council is saying there is something there with regards to Vibes Cartel and this particular charge or these particular charges, but you didn't do it the right way. And we are suggesting that you retry. You know, it could be that they're telling the Jamaican court, say, you're going to have to find a way to retry him and make it work. But if you don't see where you can retry him and make it work, you're going to have to let him go. But there is enough in there for a reasonable interpretation that the court is saying, we're not entirely convinced that, Vibes Cartel is a choir boy. But even if he's not a choir boy, you, the Jamaican court system, you were wrong in the way you conducted this because he's not a choir boy. And we're going to hold you accountable because the standard of justice and the administration of justice in the courts or whatever must be held at a certain level. And you were egregiously, wrong in the way you did such. And it was all, I would think they probably thought it was even insulting or whatever. So fix up your thing. And if you can't find a way for retry him. But if you can't find a way, because the court could also be saying, when they say determine if you want to retry him, the Privy Council could be saying, we don't see how you're going to retry him and achieve justice. The Privy Council could be saying that too, So we don't see how you can retry this man and do justice, but we are not in a position to make a ruling on that because we have to look on the procedural thing and we look on the evidence and he's not
Raga, just to end the note again, Maseba, come just say, Jamaican justice system is going to make an example out of Vice Cartel. I promise you. And it's going to be sad because it's not fair.
Not necessarily, No. You say, hold on. Not necessarily, because you I think you're still thinking about. And let me put it another way. If they want to make an example out of Vibes Cartel, let's assume you're right. And they're like, no, we can't make him get away with this or whatever, for whatever. Let us say they think that he's really guilty and it's awful that, we can't let him get away with it, right? They are still burdened with having to marshal evidence in a way that is consistent with good jurisprudence, to conduct a trial. And they're going to be even under brighter scrutiny right now and whatever. And if they can't do that, they will have to reluctantly let him go, if you understand what I'm saying. It's all about the evidence and the procedure.
Yes, it's all about the evidence, but for years, for generations, Jamaican government has just...
No, darling, you're still on this policy thing. I'm not disputing it,
No,
but you're still on this thing, but I hear the passion in your voice. You're still on this thing about the Jamaican government. We're not even talking about the Jamaican government now, You're talking about the government. Or you reach over this, or the court we're talking about.
Okay, the Jamaican court system.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody have them on something.
No, but you see what you just said? You said, me feel like everybody have them on in something. That is not going to be part of the deliberation now. You're basically venting, and I can allow you to vent, but I'm just saying to you to think that, your feelings and thing about, the Jamaican government and whatever, this and that. Them can feel how them want to feel and whatever. If they don't have the evidentiary support, like a call you mentioned earlier, whatever, them can't want to do it and then say, we want to do it, but we can't do it because we don't have a thing.
Understand.
You understand?
No, I understand. But
okay, all right. Let me take some other call here.
Take another caller. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, cool. And people, here's another thing too. The Jamaican government is getting a severe slap on the wrist for the way they conducted them. The Jamaican government. The Jamaican court is getting a proper slap on the wrist for the way they conducted this trial. It also raises the question, though, is the reason why they engage in whatever acts they engage in that led to this dismissal, this quashing of the case, is the reason why they did those things because they didn't have a case against Vybz Kartel. We have to look on that too. In other words, but for what they did with the evidence that led to the quashing of the case now from the UK Privy Council, but for whatever they did, whatever the UK Privy Council say, absent those things, do they have a case against Vybz Kartel? It could be that they did not. It could be that they realized that they did not. They would not have been able to convict him. So that is why them do what them do. And if now they're in a position where they're like, oh, we can't do what we did do, then it would mean that them don't have a case anymore and them going to have to let him go. You follow me? I sound for reason out the thing. I sound for reason. A WhatsApp call you come in and thing. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Raga.
Yeah, where you call from?
I can't. I'm on Bluetooth. You can't hear me good.
No, I hear you, but I you call on the WhatsApp number. And the WhatsApp number really for the people them outside of the US and thing who want to come in and thing. But to me say your number up here and whatever. But anyway, talk your talk.
Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I don't know because this is WhatsApp and Instagram. Some of us make a call.
Make a call. Oh, you mean?
But anyway.
Wagwan, talk.
Yeah. All right. So, more I get this clear now because based on my reading of this thing here, right?
Yeah.
They did not make a ruling on the evidence. Am I correct? Because them say, based on the irregularities of the judge in the trial, right? In the not the appeals court, but the trial itself. Based on the irregularities, right? They might throw this back to the appeals court to decide whether for retrial or not. And based on that, the last sentence back focus on now. Based on that, the evidence and the jury retirement, them now make a ruling on that because that no matter right now. Just based on the facts, say them consider it a mistrial. Right? So the evidence was not.
Hold on. The way this game is played, sometimes them will see things, but them don't say nothing about it, but them present it a certain way and think, all right, stay right online because I want people look back on this thing with them exit. And you have to understand, judges, them pick every word. In law, I've been in classes where we spend an hour in law school argue about a comma. Or is, or what this mean, or what. 1 second, me just play back something, and I want people listen carefully what the man say. All right, stay online.
The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground.
So, them say, have unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed. The appeals should be allowed. All right, go on. Listen.
The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants for the murder of Clive Williams. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct, and that the case should...
All right. You hear them say? Them say juror misconduct. What you get from that? What you get from that?
Well, all right. I look at it face value, right?
Yeah.
Based on the fact, say, them have recording, say, the man that tried bribe the jury, right? So, that me a focus on, and based on the fact, say, them say, look here, and this is where me I got kind of empathize with Jamaican justice system in our case. I mean, you beat it bad, but this is where I got empathize with it, because them say, look here, if I in England, right? If I in a film jurisprudence, there are two options. It either you dismiss the jury and call it a mistrial and retry the case, or dismiss the jury right, and do a trial by judge. Now, here when me get confused, and when I say that, and them say,
no, hold on. Once you're on the appellate level, this whole thing about dismissing the jury is out of the question. That only happens in the trial court, okay?
No, not yet. But no, that the ruling of them want for the trial court. For the trial, they want talk about the trial court, no, not the appellate. They want talk about for the trial court because I let them focus on it. Them focus on what happens in the trial.
I'm saying we don't need to be talking about dismissing the jury because that is a non-issue here. Appellate courts can't dismiss juries. It's trial courts that dismiss.
No, Raga. Hold on, Raga. You know, understand what I'm saying? They are saying, this is the argument they're making up. You know, them ruling.
Who? The argument who make? The argument who make?
The Privy Council.
Yeah.
The argument the Privy Council make. Yeah, all right, sorry about that. Yeah. The argument the Privy Council making up today, they must say their constitution, they would have had the option to dismiss the jury in a trial now. We're talking about the trial, right?
No.
They would have had the option.
No. I think you're straight, you know. And you can't
no, Raga, listen to me, Raga, man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Don't say their constitution, okay? It is one constitution where they are the top of the Jamaican jurisdiction, right?
No, Raga, Raga, you get it wrong, big man. Listen to me, man. Just hear me out now, and you can go back and read it. Just hear me out. Maybe you please hear me out. They make the argument now. That's how them themselves make the argument because at the last part, when me tune in at live, at the last part that we catch, and it catch me, and then I go back and read it. Right? Mm-hmm. The last argument they make, is that look, if it was for them, this is what they know to do.
Oh,
right? They will have the option for this.
No, you are saying.
Hold
on, you're saying that they said if when them did conduct the trial and them find out certain things, they would have dismissed the jury.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, right. All right. So you ever say things are complicated now? They must say. Them would have dismissed. They would have the option, right? Mm-hmm. But dismiss the jury, call a mistrial, or dismiss the jury and proceed with a verdict by the judge. Because them find out with the mistrial so late in the trial, almost at the time of deliberation, right? Mm-hmm. That's when them find out what the misconduct of the jury, right? Mm-hmm. So them must say now, watch it out. They must say watch it out. If he says it's up to us in our jurisprudence, our constitution, let me use the word constitution. Mm-hmm. We would have the option there, right? Mm-hmm. The trial judge, not the Privy Council, but the trial judge. The trial judge would have the option for the two options there. Mm-hmm. The problem is that Jamaica not have that in the constitution. But yeah, you find it interesting with the Jamaican constitution now. You can have a trial by judge only in a Jamaica, and you can have a trial by jury. But the Jamaican constitution that says once you start one way, you can't switch to the next. And then the Privy Council said today, what I find very interesting.
Oh, well,
yes,
like I was telling you, those are some of the nuances I don't know about the Jamaican jurisprudence, I don't know.
Because remember, in a transband trial,
no, hold on. But hold on. Yeah. So that we don't get bogged down in the weeds of these little. What's your central point, though?
So, no, my central point is that they never really make a ruling on the evidence itself. And yes, they understand the argument you make from the beginning, so why watch it out. The Jamaican justice system, it was an indictment on the Jamaican justice system. But my argument is that it's really an indictment on the Jamaican constitution, which they inherited from the British. And the British clean it up and say, watch out. We're doing it, and look for this thing and say, okay, in a case like this, if something like this occur, we can't just say, all right, we find out this and then later, instead of us short everything, back us short the jury and just make a decision by the judge alone. We in Jamaica, I say, they can't do that. So the judge and his hands was tied. So either the judge dismissed the whole trial or him keep the jury. But if you could dismiss the jury and then decide for issue the verdict for them one.
Because you're saying that is not
So it's
permitted under
really
Jamaican jurisprudence.
it's not
Well,
permitted.
I must
That's the
admit,
argument.
I don't. But you realize though, you're discussing now larger, issues, policy issues, and the potential for reformation in the judiciary and all these things and whatever.
Exactly, because right now it's a confusion right now.
At the instant moment, though, you realize that all what you're talking about right now, though, it essentially it's an interesting discourse, but it's essentially irrelevant right now for this moment with Vibes Cartel, right? You realize that, right?
Well, irrelevant for Vibes Cartel, but it gives the Jamaican the Minister of Justice or whosoever who because remember Jamaica, but yeah, let's go on outside. But yeah.
No, but
yeah, no, me have straight, but me not go so. But but you argument want make now. You know argument want make.
All right, make it quick. So, let me take our next call here.
Yeah. No, make it quick. So prior to Vibes Cartel being convicted, he was remanded, right, in custody, right? That was he was remanded for a couple of years. Because I think he spent a total of 12 years in jail now, right now. So he was remanded, him and him co-defendant were remanded for about 2 years before the conviction. He never free a road, right? So when I find interesting is that if the DPP decide for retry him, can they remand him again? Because remember, after he was charged, he was remanded. So can they remand him again? If them say, okay, we're gonna keep the charge, or they're gonna renew the charge, can they remand him and say, look, you got to stay in jail until the new trial? That's what I like to find out.
Yes,
right,
they can find reason to do that. Yes.
Okay. All right.
As well as depending on what his defense present, he can be granted bail.
He can be granted bail, but the fact that he was remanded before the trial, it'll be interesting,
What's that? What?
Yeah.
What?
No, based on the fact that he was remanded before the trial,
No. Don't. You see the way this thing works? Don't think about anything before, Everything I start new, Anything you do, it's totally new. You have to start over from scratch.
Including the charging itself?
Including the charging itself and whatever arguments you're going to make for bail or not for grant bail or whatever. Everything I start from scratch. That's how it works, okay?
Interesting.
That's
interesting. All right, cool.
All right, then.
All right, cool.
Man. Cool.
Yeah, man.
All right. Okay. Good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Right?
No. So, we're not hearing you at all. You're on some Bluetooth or muffled or something. Like you're under somebody's bed or something.
Okay, you hearing me now?
Huh? Hello? Right, she get cut off and thing. I don't know what this. Yes, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question that I wanted to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, say when they go back to trial and say they make a mistake or they did something wrong again, is England they gonna look over the case again, or how does that work?
It would have to go. It have to go right through the Jamaican system again, from the trial court, come right up to the top court in Jamaica, which is a court of appeals. And then if the defendants, don't get what they wish for, they could again apply to the Privy Council again, all over again.
Okay.
Now, the Privy Council could decide whether or not they're going to hear it, That is the thing, The Privy Council can say, no, we're not listening to it. We don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Right?
But you get what I'm trying to say, though. It's like this case is, confusing a bit if they should go back to retrial. How they going to know if somebody make a mistake again and they got to look over it?
Well, that is why it's adversarial. It's two sides, and each side will hold the other side accountable, and each side is, if the defense think like, oh, here we go again, injustice again, we're going to appeal again.
Right,
And
exactly.
then the defense, we fight again, and we're going to appeal again, and so forth. That is, it can be arduous, it can be lengthy, and, well, that's an understatement, lengthy, and it can be, quite demanding, and so forth,
That's one of my concern about the whole thing.
Well, they're thinking about that too, All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm. Ah, boy. Well, yeah, the last caller, she was actually being, she was being procedural also, which is good, and things like that. Okay, just want to remind you, the number from the United States or Canada, it's 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606. If you're calling on WhatsApp, do not call this 929 number I'm going to give you. Don't call it directly. That's the amount of calling it directly. And you have to call on WhatsApp, right? So for those of you on Instagram, you're not seeing these numbers because of the aspect ratio that we're dealing with here. But that number, the WhatsApp number is 929-400-1249, 929-400-1249, 929-400-1249. And if you hear a caller on, just wait a little bit and try get in after, and don't keep calling. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Speak to Raga.
Yeah, talk to Raga. Turn off the thing behind us so that we're not here. Yeah, and talk fast.
Don't want you rush me.
You have to go rush in.
My question.
Yeah.
My question to you.
Yeah.
So the fact said, it quashed, right?
Yeah.
Right now as we're speaking.
Yeah.
Technically, are they being locked up without a cause?
We have been over this several times throughout the show, but the fact that again, this is how I do it for people to understand. The only reason Vybz Kartel, Sean Storm, and the other co-accused are in prison right now, it's because they were convicted of a crime, right? Mm-hmm. Those convictions have been thrown out. So the only reason Vybz Kartel is in prison right now no longer exists. So if those reasons don't exist, he's supposed to be out and free, right? Okay. However, there's a practical matter here where, given the directive from the Privy Council came today and whatever, this and that, a reasonable person would say, well, the Court of Appeals in Jamaica should make a ruling. The assumption is, again, I don't know if there is some provision in the laws in Jamaica that say once an appeal court, quashes a conviction that, I don't know, the defendant is supposed to be released immediately. The defendant is supposed to be released in 24 hours. The defendant is supposed to be released in 48 hours. I don't know if anything like that exists. But what we as reasonable minds can assume is that the Court of Appeals must make some decision, in a timely manner in the interest of justice and fairness to the defendant, whether or not they're going to go with a retrial. I am proffering that while the court is deliberating to make that decision whether or not they're going to have a retrial, it would be unjust. And I'm not talking about Vybz Kartel, I'm talking about anybody.
Right.
If you're incarcerated on a conviction and the conviction is quashed, if you want to take your time to decide whether or not you have a retrial, you can't keep me in a jail or in a prison.
Right.
You have to let me go. And then if you're going to do a retrial and thing, again, I don't know Jamaican jurisprudence work with that. But if you're going to do a retrial, then you come charge me and then arrest me again, and then we'll decide if you're going to give me bail again. But you can't keep me in a prison for something that no longer exists.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether it's Vibes Cartel or Mary Magdalene or Barack Obama or whatever. You cannot keep somebody in prison if the reason why they went to prison no longer exists. You have to let them go.
Yeah.
Right, you know?
Okay. Because I was thinking along the same line, but appreciate your time for that.
Blessing my general and thing. All right. Big up yourself, you know. All right.
Respect.
Protection.
Respect.
Cool.
Yeah.
I still see people calling the WhatsApp number directly. You cannot call the WhatsApp number directly. You have to call the 929 number on WhatsApp. You can't call the phone. You have to call the WhatsApp. You have to go in a WhatsApp and call the number, right, to get on air, because I see the phone a ring, but when I call it directly, you know. Hello, good afternoon.
Yo, Raga, bless up, respect.
Manners and respect, yeah, cool.
Yeah, man, my brethren, you know me as a yard man, me have a thing to set to you.
Yeah.
No, for the man, them, the people them in a Jamaica, you know, be, regardless, we don't even deal with cartel, but want to the victim family, them. When man go and kill all people, pick me and your brother, your sister. You don't see it.
So what, you know, somebody raised that issue. What are you saying with respect to what right now? What's your point?
All right, my brethren, you know, say, like you have your brother or your cousin, and a man willfully murder, which you know, say, he murder.
Yeah.
And through that person is all popular star. It coming like the other man not have no right, no life, no value, nothing star. And most of Jamaican people, them they've not analyzed thing, you know.
I totally understand what you're saying. Totally understand what you're saying. But I will also add, and I want to, it's a similar thing I said earlier. The issue here is not whether or not Vibes Cartel is guilty or innocent. The issue here is whether the Jamaican courts adhered to the standards that they are legally obligated to adhere. And what the Privy Council is saying, I want you to understand this. The Privy Council is not concerned, the ruling is not concerned with whether or not Vibes Cartel is guilty. The Privy Council not think about the victim relatives or anything. The Privy Council is just saying the case never tried good. It was tried awful. That is what the Privy Council is saying. And because the case never tried good, irrespective of what you think about the victim and the victim relatives and Vibes Cartel and its co-defendants and whatever, the Privy Council is saying courts have an obligation to try cases properly, and you did not try the case properly. And when cases don't try properly to the degree that they were improper, the verdicts have to be quashed. That is all the Privy Council is saying. They're not making any statement about the victim or the victim relatives or whether or not Vibes Cartel is innocent or not. They're just saying the process of the trial was corrupted.
With a
and
jury,
the result
with
from that
jury.
corruption cannot be accepted.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, as a yard man still,
yeah.
Not for the people them to really understand, cause we understand where you assess still, you know, fully, you know.
Yeah.
But you see, when you're popular star, you can't get to with anything star.
Okay.
You know, see?
Right. Yeah, that's true
like,
all over. That's true all over. People who are popular, more powerful and whatever. That's true all over.
And Jamaican people for realize, you know, the CM knife where stick goat stick sheep.
Yeah.
And when it reach them footstep now, them say the system this and them the system that.
Yeah.
But you know, we as Jamaican for really, you know, I have some people at Jamaica, them get the privilege to do all some things when they reach certain way in life, instead of them use it to elevate themselves, them feel so them can tramp upon other people's rights, you know, and like other people don't know it. For better our country be, we have to split it. Justice is justice for one and justice for all. Can't justice to me and then injustice for you and then you feel say so. You know, see it, and that's why we have so much reprisal.
So you are
killing,
saying that, you know, when somebody get popular and prominent and powerful and wealthy and whatever and thing like that, you're saying that it doesn't serve the country's interest and the people's interest if
Most
those
of the
people
time.
enjoy certain privileges, you know, with respect to justice and can get away with certain things that other people can't
Yes.
get away with. That is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a Sylvia thing with the woman there now. And we are watching how that's going to play out too. The privilege. As in first, them say the woman dead in her sleep, and then it's a different thing. So, you know, the privilege always I get to it with certain things and them can cover up and things.
See.
But life is life. I would love a country be and would I like everybody can come and live and enjoy the happiness and everything. But some people just trample upon other people's rights still. You know, see it.
See it there.
Me as a yard man still, me know, me understand what you say about the thing I try right, but we are get a youth and we don't know, and you don't know it goes still more time. But anyway, my brethren, bless up yourself and long live. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man, protection, my general.
Respect my
Yeah,
family.
man.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, again from the United States or Canada, the number is 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606. Okay, good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Hello, Raga.
Yeah.
What's going on? I just got a quick question. Since the Privy Council quashed the ruling of the appellate court, is it, if I'm not mistaken? Right. What do you think an adequate time is for them to address this? You know, to like let them know what the next step is.
Yes, and again, and this is where I am ignorant about procedure and in Jamaican courts. I do not know if there is some regulation that you know, for stuff like this, that once a verdict is vacated, once a verdict is quashed, like if there is a set in the books timeline, you know, for a prosecution to respond or, you know, court to respond and whatever, you know, before, you know, you have to say, well, if you don't respond by this time, then you have to free, you know, the person who is now free, you know, because there's no conviction. I don't know if there's some set time for that in Jamaica, but, you know.
Okay, my second thing is, do you think the justice system or the DDP, should I say, will choose to retry the case? You know, I know that this case probably cost a lot of money, took a lot of time. So do you think that they would spend those resources again to have this case retried?
It's a question that a couple of people have called me and asked me. In general, it is something they would not admit, because to do so, you know, it would kind of, you know, say, oh, well, justice is dependent on money. But in truth, justice is dependent on money. Prosecutors have to be paid, judges have to be paid, you know, lawyers have to be paid, and the courts have to be cleaned, and the clerks have to be paid, and so forth, and things like that. The police officers, the security person, and the whole works. You know, it's a multi-factor apparatus that you know, that is both physical and intangible also, and things like that. So who to tell? I don't know if they, you know, if in their deliberations those are some of the considerations that are put into play, and you know, where they will say, okay, what will it take to mount this prosecution again? What's the budget like? And if we mount it, what is the likely outcome, and is it worth it? You know, like stuff like that. And what would we gain from this or whatever, you know? But ideally, you would think that that is not the case, because, well, that shouldn't be the case, because justice is justice, right? And it doesn't matter what, you know, that is what you see in the movies and whatever. But as we all know, in real life, you know, very often, certain practical deliberations have to accompany our choices, Somebody, you have a woman nowadays, them say, boy, I love the man, but him broke. And I can't do no broke man because I'm not going to survive or whatever, So, you have the emotions on one side and you have the practical considerations on the other side that has to be taken into consideration when making a decision, when making a choice. And so who knows? Perhaps they would go through some of these things,
Right.
All right.
And do you think that the Court of Appeals, like, how long do you think it will take for them to, like, at least put out a statement? I feel like a statement needs to be put out.
I honestly don't know, to be honest with you. And part of the reason for that, let me just remind you all that I'm a social scientist who just recently graduated from law school, last year. So, and that I'm here in the United States of America. So, I know U.S. law. I know New York law. I know New York immigration law. I know U.S. federal immigration law. That is my area of expertise. And I'm also with a law firm that does personal injury, Spector and Associates. That is what I know, right? That is what I know. That is what I know, pursuant to the law, right? But I don't really know Jamaican law that well. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got you. Raga, I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, man. Blessing, man.
All right.
There is somebody in the Instagram chat, and you keep posting the same thing over and over. I respect your opinion and think, but what you're doing right now is a form of spamming. Okay, so there's somebody in the Instagram chat called money_melody3. I respect your opinion about Vybz Kartel. I gather you're not a fan of him, but you keep posting the same thing over and over right through, and that is a form of spamming. Okay, so you're trolling the chat. I'm going to ask you to stop. Okay, again, money_melody3. You apparently are not a fan of Vybz Kartel. I understand that, and you're entitled to your opinion. But again, you keep posting the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So, and again, that is spamming in the social media world. You're spamming and trolling, the live, and I'm gonna ask you to, balance up your thing right. So, okay. All right. Any other calls coming in right now? A bunch of you were calling, and I have to take care of this and that, and this and that. Okay. And for the people who don't know the number, from the United States, the number is 585, or Canada, 585-596-0606, 585-596-0606. Okay, just see a WhatsApp call coming in. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Raga.
Yeah, Wagwan.
Bless up. I have a question in regards to the whole case, the whole Vybz Kartel thing.
Yeah.
The initial part of the case is like with me, my little thing is that me feel that there is a certain amount of bias where, in my opinion, I don't know if it's a general thing where is a fact, but there is, in my opinion, certain amount of biases we come across where the whole vibe, where the DPP, in spite of the fact that there was this bad apple in the juror, and is before she do the honorable thing and kick out that bad apple, them go ahead and them still make them decision based on all of that. Isn't it going to be somewhat messed up for them send back the same people, send back the same, when you send back the case, go back where when the DPP, who in my opinion are the person who helped to mess up the thing on a level, we send it back to that same person right there. So go back on decision again. Isn't that going to be very messed up in regards to the whole justice?
Well, your question is if the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, was at fault and committed an egregious offense about something that she should have done and didn't do, then why sending it back to the Director of Public Prosecution? My response to you is this. For prosecution to take place, well, somebody has to prosecute it, right? And the only person we have, the only entity we have there constitutionally is the Director of Public Prosecution, and in this case, it's a woman under office. I wanted to remind you that the Director of Public Prosecution basically supervises the case, but they usually assign what we in the United States would call an assistant DA. So it's an assistant. I don't know what the term is used in Jamaica, but don't assume that it's the same prosecutors who will be who tried the case before, would be the same ones trying this one. But the Director of Public Prosecution, to the best of my knowledge, is a political appointee, and whoever that is, that's a person who is going to handle it. Now, if you want to impeach the DPP in some way, form, or the other, and to have them removed, then that's a separate matter. And I'm sure there are some provisions in the Jamaican Constitution, for people to do that if they wish. But just like up here, if you're the Attorney General, you're the Attorney General. If you're the District Attorney, you're the District Attorney. If people want to cuss you and say you do something wrong, them say you do something wrong, but them can't stop you from doing your work. If you committed an infraction so egregious as to warrant some sort of prosecution against you, the prosecutor, then that is a separate matter. Like, we don't like Clarence Thomas, or a lot of we don't like some other Supreme Court justice, but Nakir, you couldn't like them no more. You can't tell them, say, them not for try case or whatever. No, you have to have some rules there. You can impeach a Supreme Court justice, but that is a separate matter. We could have cussed him tomorrow and say, we don't want him try that case and he's not supposed to do that because his wife did involve in a J6 or whatever. But him can't just stay right there and try cases anyway if he want, because I just saw the thing set up in terms of the regulations here, okay?
As you said earlier, this thing I show the Jamaican justice system one type of way, and believe me, it's like the type of bias. I said Jackass said they were on the level.
Yeah.
And know things that show up one certain type of way,
All right, then, Papa, make a bounce another call here.
Guidance, bless up.
Protection. I have to take about one or two more calls, and then I have to go, people. Then I have to go. So here we go. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, Raga.
Yeah.
My question is, this is based on Carter's case, where the Privy Council just recently ruled on, right? Take back to the time of his trial.
Yeah.
Under the Jamaica Jury Act, section 31, sub 1. It states something like this, it's a long time already, that all murder charges, cases have to be tried with a minimum, start off with a minimum of 12 juries, right? However, if a jury was to say get ill or something, then the judge can dismiss that jury. But throughout the duration of the trial, it must have a minimum of 11. And a verdict, it takes a verdict of, it takes 10 jurors to have a unanimous verdict, right? However, it creates a latitude for the judge if, like in this case, if the judge, if there is someone considered to be tainted, that the judge can use his discretion to say how far that breach reach, to say that they may impugn the integrity of the entire jury panel. Now, the trial judge, having examined the evidence, consider that it wasn't be that so much in the sense that it would have caused for a new trial, which he could have ruled and asked for a new trial, right? But having considered that that it wasn't that great of a harm to the accused, being the fact that the so-called tainted jury was in line with Carter's innocence, right? So he allowed the jury. So I'm asking myself, under what ground did the Privy Court rule find that the judge made so much of monumental error?
Let me be honest with you. I am not privy to those details, and I'm unqualified to speak on that. You're having a very technical and precise question, and I am terribly unequipped to answer that question the way you frame it, because you're asking about the details of the actual ruling that the judge made during the trial with respect to the jury and this one person and whatever, but you're quite right that part of the judge's responsibility is that when informed of some sort of infraction or something, some sort of disagreement or some sort of offense in the process that may have corrupted the process in some way, it is the judge's, the judge has the authority to determine to what extent there was a damage here, if any, or if there was a damage, if the damage was consequential to the outcome of the case or to the integrity of the jury. The judge definitely has a right to do that, and jurisprudence is littered with circumstances where judges have made ruling and they have been overturned on the appellate, during the appellate process and whatever. But that constitutes part of the overall process. It's so it's supposed to work. So if one person make a mistake, somebody else see it and can correct it, and then if a person somebody else can see it and whatever. That is the idea, with respect to justice.
I understand that, but I'm saying that even for the Privy Court, they had to be guided by the Jury Act of Jamaica at the time. So I know you say you're not familiar with that aspect, but I'm just saying to myself.
No. But what we can assume, though, any reasonable man can assume, though, is that whatever it is that the Privy Council see, because what you just presented, is a reasonable person. No, but the judge can do so and so and so. But the Privy Council's ruling, again, let me just remind people, right? And this has been true of the Privy Council, right? In order to get an appellate body to overturn a lower court's ruling, the bar is high, right? In order to get the Privy Council to overturn a ruling that has gone right through the Jamaican judiciary, right through all the courts, up to the top court and whatever, the bar is generally high. Most people who go up there, they don't get through. So for the Privy Council to make this ruling, I'm basically saying, yes, you have satisfied the elements that are required for us to overturn, to quash these convictions. It means then that something terrible must have been done and arguably, categorically obvious. Right? Not only that, but it's, just listen for that, listen to me, I say, but not only that, it's unanimous.
Yeah, I know.
So whatever I don't know what it is, but I'm saying whatever it is, it has to be damning.
That I agree with. Well, I'm just saying, I want to. But let me ask from your knowledge of the law.
Yeah, one more question here. Yeah.
Was the verdict overturned or was it quashed?
You're getting into the nuances here and thing and on. The verdict, because overturn implies the verdict was wrong.
Right.
But that, you see, is an important question you ask here, and it's one my colleagues and myself, or we're in law school, we would enjoy, but the average layperson, they don't really care about something too much. But again, if the verdict was not overturned, and this is why I'm saying people need to understand that This is a procedural matter as far as the ruling comes from the Privy Council. It's that the how was not satisfied, to the minimum standards. That is, the how the trial was conducted was not satisfied. And because the trial, the how, was so corrupted or so breached, they're saying the outcome, the result of that process, we cannot accept it.
Yeah, I know, but
right?
it
So
was
the
no
Privy
return.
Council is not making a ruling on whether or not Cartel is guilty or not, which would go
No.
to your question about overturn. Right? So it's an important distinction, but one for people with time to engage in these intellectual gymnastics and so on. But anyway, let me just take one more call before I leave.
All
Okay?
right.
All right.
Peace
Then,
up, brother.
All
Have a
right
good one.
then. Cool. Where am I? Come over here, so. Where is this thing? Join. Why join? There is no call on. Join.
Yes, what on?
In the middle, you going to be the last
In
call.
the middle. Yes.
In the middle, in the place. Where you say, me, G?
Yeah, man.
You're there, Jamaica right now, right?
Yeah, man. I just want thing more ask.
Yeah.
Because I hear nobody really cover your part unless I'm not hearing.
Yeah.
The two side breach door, in my opinion. Because Cartel did a throw some spanner in the ring, to mash up the case.
What do you mean?
A two thing in try,
What?
He said no man to bribe the jury. And when did it do again? Hold on. He do one of that thing again. Yeah, he said no man to bribe the jury. And in the one other thing, when do again? Oh yes, they impaired a policeman for use the evidence, for use the phone for mash up the case because for tamper with the phone for the court rule or for the jury rule or the judge for rule. So boy, the case is tainted because the policeman used if he use the phone.
All right. Here's what you need. Here's what you need to understand. The way this thing works is, and again, I'm being objective. I'm not here discussing who guilty or not. But I just want you to understand something. All right. The prosecution, the way courts work is if you're going to take away somebody's freedom, right? Or if you're going to sentence them to death or punish them for 20, 30 years or life, in prison or whatever, you have a higher standard to do that, right? And I'm sure you have heard, before where them say the defense only have to plug a little hole in the thing. The defense don't even have to prove innocence. The defense have to just prove that the prosecution did not make their case. You ever hear that term there? That the defense doesn't necessarily have to prove the innocence of the defendant, but them just have to prove that the prosecution did not make their case. You understand?
Right.
So the prosecution is held at a higher standard, right? And it is not unusual for the defenses in cases to engage in all form of chicanery and all kind of whatever. And then the idea is that when the court find out these things, the court must punish them. Or if it is somehow revealed to the jury of some things with the defendant, or depending on what the nature of the case is, then the jury is going to punish the defendant. So again, it's an adversarial thing. It's competitive. It's adversarial. It's one side against the other. But with understandable justification, the prosecution. Let me put it another way to answer the question. The defense could have gone with one bag of something, It still does not absolve the prosecution of their responsibility to maintain the standards in their prosecution.
True.
You follow what I say? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you don't care what the defense do, right? The prosecution still is obligated to ensure the procedural integrity of the trial and the way they are conducting the trial, knowing full well that failure on their part to do so will compromise the case, as happened right now, pursuant to the ruling from the Privy Council.
True. But yes, I know, and I agree with what you're saying. But all I'm saying, that we, the public opinion, we just want this highlight, because we see some people jump up about on cartel side what was done.
So basically,
achieve this result.
Prosecution go on with certain things, yes, the cartel side go on with some things too and whatever.
Cartel has been a genius. What he has done is a genius for achieve this type of result we are going on. So all who jump up, want to highlight that part. Cartel throw some spanner in the ring and mash up the whole thing. So he has been a genius. So I don't know what you call it now. No innocent thing or not like that. I just saw the work though. I just saw it go.
All right.
In the well.
All right. Now say a word, man. All right.
Yeah.
Blessings, man. All right, people. Me no
respect.
Yeah, me have to leg right, I know. Me have to go make a couple moves. Me have to go over Sound Chat Radio, over Irish and Chin, over Chin Station, over Sound Chat Radio. Me have to juggle go over there because I promise him, say me I go pass through and things, so me have to go juggle over there now and thing. All right, people, take care of yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me. What the hell is this? What I sitting here? All right then, cool. Me have to let go, people. Big up on yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This show is going to be available on over YouTube on my channel, TamFam TV. Over YouTube, follow me over there, TamFam TV. That if you follow, all right, TamFam TV over YouTube. Make sure if you want to watch a show, yeah, you want people to see the show, yeah, whatever. It's available over TamFam TV, TamFam TV over YouTube. And Instagram people, me realize when I beat me and think, me can't take no more call people no vex. Me need for do more live over there and think such will be the case. I will make the necessary adjustment in that regard. People, take care of yourself and remember to clean on the bathroom properly and don't make a white bathroom look brown and think all I want to open on the fridge. I want to see beer white on the fridge because the thing kind of sticky pound. Hold it. Govern on the thing and don't give up on thing. I don't know some Cherry Wash Belly Ragashanti they are rate on the same way. All who are watching thing, if you don't know, follow me over YouTube. Make sure you follow me over YouTube, TamFam TV. And thing, big up the people on the Twitch platform. Big up the people who follow Ragashanti on I just start build up my TikTok page, so you can go check that out too and follow me over TikTok. Ragashanti, Ragashanti. And thing, all right, big up on yourself, but make sure you follow me over YouTube, all right? TamFam TV, TamFam, and the way I spell it is TEEVEE, TamFam TV. Big up on yourself, people. Blessings and respect, all right? Out the road. I'm going to let go now, man. I'm big up to my Ansness crew and big up to my people over there. Remember tomorrow, Tam Fam get together. Like, become just caught up with the cartel sitting and whatever. And remember tomorrow our thing and whatever. Java, he look like he on the same flight. You know, I don't know if we made it on the same flight. All right, Java, we made it on the same flight. I don't know if you're going to be it before, you know, you come by the people in plane, but I'm suggesting that you do so. That would be a good idea, right? We don't want you come by the plane with your anxious attitude and it's all about frowns you rub up. We don't depend on something there. Okay, Java. But, all right, everybody want to big up on themselves, you know. You know, say, me need to go figure out, Peckwood Farms in Jamaica, big up, you know, see how they large up yourself, you know. All right. When we going to see again, and things. So tomorrow, all who need the address for the Tam Fam get together tomorrow in Kissimmee, wanna just send me a text, you know if to send the text and whatever. And we will send on the address to you know, because you know, saying nothing we're going to put out there like that. What else? I'm excited about the weekend coming up. That should be fun. All right, big up on yourself. Everything is everything. All right. Anything else? I see people still are calling. I'm not taking no more call right now. Okay, I can't take no more call right now. People no vex, you know. I leg on me, I leg. All right, big up on yourself.